This is what I want right here. Just download that. Gotta get my background. Building my world. Today's talk. Today's. So it's not really a talk. It's more regurgitation. Regurgitation. Listen to people smarter than me and share it back out. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're going to make it. We have to act as a hive mind. We must learn, bring it back. Regurgitate it. Add to it. Answer the question. Spit it back out and let somebody else perfect it. Clean it. Massage it. Make it make some sense. All right. Today's Friday. Friday all day today. Today we're reminded of our enslavement. Is my mic on? My mic is on. All right. Let's see if I can get this up and bring in some emoticons so we can get upset. What I was thinking about today, a lot of things. People posting on how the world is in uprest. Everybody's upset. Everybody but America, the world's reserve currency. The last to feel it. We're gonna be the last to feel it, but don't make any mistake, baby. That feeling is coming. March back to the third world as our elites get away because the kings always have the fastest horses. Today we are gonna take a look at solution, but understanding that we can't continue into that. It's hard to get people to agree on that and understand that today cannot continue. Today has to stop. You can disagree on the solutions all you like, but today cannot continue. All right, what's going on? Things acting funky. All right, what's my background? That's what I need. Today can't continue because I want to show you the best possible scenario. Did that come down yet? Did it come down? Nope, didn't come down yet. Best possible scenario. I believe this is it right here, isn't this it? Best possible scenario looks like this. Best possible scenario. Let's put that in the background. I'm building a world. Same way they build your world on the news. They build your world every day. They tell us what's real, what's not real. I gotta build the world so people can visualize where are we going. And if we don't stop, so we're gonna end up, oh, sorry, I didn't make it public yet. I didn't even share it out yet. Okay, it's public now you can share. If you didn't share any of them, this is the one that you need to share. You don't share anything else, we're gonna talk solution. I'm gonna bring in Brother Peter Joseph. I'm not gonna bring him in hey, you know Peter Joseph? No, actually I don't know. I don't know anybody that's famous. That's the wrong word. No, actually, I know people who's more famous than what he's been. I know a couple famous people, but I think Peter Joseph isn't famous. He's infamous. There's a difference. If you're famous, you get to go on TV a lot. You get to get known. If you're infamous, like you're trying to save a planet or a species, oh no, you're infamous. The elites cannot have that. They run the fantasy worlds they create on the news, on the new, the old. Hang on, I'm just running my mouth while I get this going. I got all these buttons to press. I gotta click this, click that, change that, flip this out. I don't have a media team. The mass media has media teams to put together their narratives. I don't. It's just me. All right, click that. YouTube is acting a little funny this morning. We'll see if we can bring them in. All right, it's public. You can share it if you want. If you don't want to share it, you want the best possible scenario. This is the best possible scenario. It's time to stop making the donuts, people. Time to stop making the donuts. Time to stop making the damn donuts. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? You have any idea? Do you know who Peter Joseph is? Do you know what the Zeitgeist movement is? Do you know why it's not on mainstream TV and no politician would dare utter it out their mouth? Why? Because they want to write legislation. Why do they want to write legislation? Because they got to keep the system going. The only purpose of two parties, any political party, in an oligarchical system is to keep, there's two reasons. And I forgot what they are. That's how you know it's true. I posted it yesterday. I quizzed myself. If it's true, it's always true, even if you get old and you start forgetting it. Only two reasons for political parties, only two reasons in an oligarchy. You don't have a democracy. It's time to stop acting like you got one. It's time to grow up and just accept the raw ugliness. You have an oligarchy. They only got two reasons. One is to keep the system sustainable. Is to keep the monkeys fighting. You got to keep the monkeys fighting. Doesn't matter what you do. You got to have shiny this, shiny that. Put it in the log. Put a hole. Put it in a rock. Put it anywhere you can put it. Put it in the cave. Put the shiny stuff just so they can't reach it. Then get the hand in. You know the monkey trap? Anybody know the monkey trap? We have a monkey economy. I'm gonna talk about that today. You stick your hand in there and they grab the shiny thing. They stick the shiny thing, and let's call the shiny thing a wall. We'll call the shiny thing oil. Because the troops ain't coming home in Syria. Trump done flip-flopped on that. Join Team Obama. That's right, they're on the same team. They've always been on the same team. They don't have a choice. They might hate each other, but once you become president, you will do what you're supposed to do, what you're told to do. So no, the troops ain't coming home. Obama went to colonize and globalize, and Trump came right in and colonize, globalize, and secure the oil. Because that's what he said at the end of his speech. The troops are not coming home. You know, they put the shiny thing in the monkey trap, get your hand in there, and the monkeys can't get it out. That's the one reason of a political party and oligarchical system is to keep the monkeys busy trying to get shiny things they can't get out the hole. Call it universal basic income, call it a wall, call it some health care, single payer, all of the things. You can't get your hand out, but they're gonna keep pulling, because that's what monkeys do. We got a monkey-based economy, and we're gonna talk about that. Monkey-based in every way. They take the evolutionary mistakes, the things that we developed because we just weren't ready yet, and they use it against us, and they created a black market out of it. So that's the one reason for the political party. The second reason is profit. Profit, 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 profit. One, keep everybody divided and stupid. Don't do anything. Don't change anything. Legislation can't fix core model problems that you have a system that's based in destroying the planet because it's based in consumerism and the planet can't let you consume anymore. And two, just keep you dumb, keep you fighting. And two, profit. If it makes profit, it's good. We are designed to fail. We aren't too big to fail, baby. We are not victims of our success. This is not success. This is total failure. We have a system that at its core is modeled to fail. All right, there we go. I got that out. Whew, no, I didn't drink too much coffee. I only had one cup. Hang on. Let me see if I can bring YouTube in. YouTube is acting funny this morning. The YouTube comments. I'm looking at the kids. It's going back and forth. It's waiting. It's trying to bring the commentary. It's not coming in. Oh, come on. I don't feel like playing with that this morning. It's time to stop making the donuts. I'm gonna need y'all to stop with this jobism. I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna need you to stop. You need to stop with your proud slavery. Stop it. Stop it now. Stop it. Over half the jobs done in this world, over half, are all obsolete. They're just not telling you. Yes, probably what you do. I ain't obsolete. I do this. You're obsolete. I'm an innovator. It's what I've done my whole life. My life was to get rid of your job. My industry, we succeeded at. We got rid of most of y'all most of the monkey jobs, because all the jobs are monkey jobs. All of them. All of them. All right, hang on, before y'all get upset. I don't see some angry faces, because I know the boss needs you. I know. It's Friday. We're gonna be honest today. The boss needs you. The boss can't without you. I'm trying to bring in, hang on, YouTube, and YouTube is not trying to agree. They're like, hell no. We need people working at Google. You're not gonna tell us that our monkey's obsolete. We need our monkeys on the laptops. We need our monkeys sweeping the floor. We need our monkeys cleaning off the windows. All the useless jobs that have no place on this planet. We've already gotten rid of them. You're just forced into them, or you forced to keep them because you don't understand that we got to make a decision. We got to stop. The model is broken at its core. All right, am I on YouTube? Nope, YouTube, something funky. Something's funky. I don't know. It's getting funky. We'll see what happens. I got to get started. So, because I got to go to work. Got to get started because I don't want to. That's the difference. I'll tell you, that's the difference. I ain't proud of it, and I don't want to. But I got to go to work. I got to go to work because y'all want me to go to work. Y'all force me to go to work. You know how? Because y'all got bank accounts. That's how I force myself to go to work. I don't want to go to work. Nobody wants to. Well, smart people don't want to go to work. Smart people understand how the world works. You can't keep people in slavery. We're gonna get to the core of it. We're gonna get to the core of the Zeitgeist movement. I saw a great video. But first I gotta show you this. Time to stop making the donuts. You understand what I'm saying when I say that? Time to stop making the donuts. Time to stop. Time to stop human drudgery. I know you think you're important, you're not. You suck at your job. I'm gonna tell you and be honest with you. Boss ain't gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you. You suck. Okay? You suck. All right? And your job is why the planet is being destroyed. We're killing every single ecosystem on this planet. Our best possible future in this model of keeping these elites, short of y'all finding a dozen Earths that we can all go live on, like a little box of a continent of an island, while the elites have every damn thing. Keep this elites model, and you keep their governments, you keep their politicians writing legislation. This is the best possible future. And this will only happen if you get some elites up there with some empathy that give half a damn. It might give us like some stacks. This is from the movie Ready Player One, something like that. And somebody talk about my zit, I got to put it out there first of all. Yes, I'm still eating chocolates. I'm trying to help Ty out. I don't know if Ty is feeling better. I'm still eating chocolates. This zit now on this side right here. It's growing. It's growing, baby. And this is why people watch live streams. That's why they watch live streams. They're like, you know, it's going to pop today. I bet you it's going to pop. I bet you we're going to get him excited. We're going to talk about some aliens or some anti-gravitic devices or free energy or something. He going to get upset. His head's going to just get tight. We're going to see a vein. All of a sudden, boom! No, it's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I massage my zits, y'all. I massage. The rare times I get them, I massage them. But besides, they ain't gonna pop. You ain't gonna see that. You should watch the show, but you ain't gonna see that. I'm drinking my smoothie. I'm breaking fast. This is my breakfast. Ooh, and that's a good another reason to stop making the damn donuts. That's a good reason because it gives you zits, eating all that damn chocolate and bacon and eggs and oil and all these things that your body doesn't like. It's trying to, your indicator light's coming on, because you know that's what a zit is, right? It's an indicator light. That's how y'all know when I'm faking the funk. When I'm faking the funk, I've been eating frozen pizzas and chips and muffins and not drinking my smoothies and eating candy because my friend is sad and I want him to be happy. There we go. That's why it ain't gonna pop. The white blood cells are taking in all of that green. They're going up there right now and they're breaking down all that white inflammation you call pus that you want to see pop on the screen. Ain't gonna happen. They're gonna break all that down. They're gonna break down the reason why that inflammation pop. All right, anyway, we're not talking about this today, are we? What are we talking about? Time to stop making the damn donuts. That's what we are. Stop being proud of your drudgery. I gotta show you something. Let me show you something. The millennials, I love y'all to death, but you know, sometimes old people say stuff and you just like, what is he talking about? Time to stop making the damn donuts. I don't make donuts. I go to the vegan bakery, man. It's bagels, man. When we were kids, we used to make the donuts. Look, anyway, this is a commercial from the 80s.
Time to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh.
I made the donuts.
We make them at least twice every day.
Time to make the donuts.
Not a few kinds like supermarket.
Made the donuts. Time to make the donuts.
But up to 52 varieties.
The donuts. Time to make the donuts. I made the donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, up to 52 varieties fresh day and night. No supermarket, up to 52 varieties fresh day and night.
I made the donuts.
This is an example, okay? Time to make the donuts. Human drudgery. Useless at your job, still doing your damn job. All right, fighting for jobs. Let it go. You suck at your jobs are all going away. I'm about to show you exactly why. I'll let Brother Peter Jokers explain it to you. Stop making the donuts. But I forgot the commercial because I don't have time to put this together, and I forgot at the end he became schizophrenic. This is a good example, okay? This is why people watch live streams, not because my zit's gonna pop because I get stressed and get too much coffee, but because at the end of it, the drudgery, the human drudgery, there's social ills that come out of a conflict, social-based society that requires consumerism, and consuming requires destroying ecosystems, which requires you buy more and more and more and more to keep the system growing and growing and growing, because if it doesn't grow, it collapses, which means you got to work harder and harder and harder because you're buying more and more, and then it finally pops like a zit in a live stream. But before it pops, you go crazy, you go schizophrenic. You have social ills, mental illnesses, you have rape, you have looting, you have destruction, you have people just abusive, running rampant. You got Epstein Islands every damn where people only see one. And then it pops. We need to stop. Stop making the donuts. Stop making the donuts. Stop making the donuts, because this is the eventual result. I got to put Brother Peter Joseph on. I'm going to let him kind of explain it to you. Because, you know, when you get to this realm, y'all hear me, I get sick and tired of saying it every damn day. We make robots that do better at everything that you think that you do well. We do. If it's in the physical world, we got you. I'm sorry. Learning software can learn a lot more than you, a lot faster than you, a lot better than you. actuator arms and robotic motors. They're more precise than you and they're stronger than you. Those two factors alone tells you, so you got muscle and brain, right? You can do what you do because you got a brain, right? The computer now is a brain. You have limited capacity in your brain. We have unlimited capacity for databases now, right? Unlimited capacity. And that technology gets extended every single day, almost nowadays. Your muscle structure is not really 98% monkey. I know you got 98% from the monkey. You do not get your muscle structure. The fiber strength of a chimpanzee is far behind your muscle structure, which is why you get a grown man who fights an ultimate fighter in the ring with a little chimpanzee, and the chimpanzee will rip his arms off and beat him over the head with it, all right? And so muscle strength, chimpanzees ahead of you, robotics actuator muscles are much stronger than you. They're smarter than you and they're stronger than you. Bottom line, everything in this world, whatever this thing is, automation will always be better than you, period. And now we're starting to get there. We need to accept these basic things. I know you think you're better. I know, somebody tell me who's better. What are angry faces? Did y'all invite the better? I'm better than a robot. I do my job. My supervisor says he loves me and I'm irreplaceable. No, you replaced a long time ago. Most of the jobs are obsolete. Vast majority of the jobs are obsolete because we don't need them. They're based in the financial and monetary and currency and the market sectors of things that you don't actually need anymore, right? You don't need anything relating to currency at all. They just have not told you that because they want you to keep working. And then the things that you actually do in the physical world that require intelligence and muscle, obsolete. So what do we do? Next step, I summed it up and I'm gonna let Peter Joseph lay out that bag of snakes straight. Courtney is on to something, listen to what she's saying. Anything that involves like vibration, Godism, spirituality, you're fantastic. Love, y'all fantastic. You're great at that. We do good at that. Anything in this world we suck at. A creator created us after the monkey party evolved. And we created something that's better than us. Our creator wanted us to be better than it, and I think we are. I think everybody's a god. I actually do. That's why I can't get on your monkey teams. They always try to sign me up for a monkey team. I was thinking about that this morning. I was listening to my other teacher explaining about identity. And all identity, it's just low budget, lazy sociology. That's all it is. I know we got classes for identity now. The kids, these liberal universities teaching, this identity and this one and this monkey identity and this monkey and that monkey. We're going to group you with these monkeys. It's low budget. It's cheap sociology, right? Because things are easier if you can group them, right? Because we don't have brains of robots. That's why we don't have software and limited terabyte giga database, infinite data we can collect. So we just too much to calculate. Too many variables. 7 billion humans, too many variables. Gotta make it easy. Let's put them all in groups. Create some monkey groups. Same thing the farmer does. The farmer can't look at all his cows and like, oh, dang it. All the different cows. Nope, you gotta put them in groups. You're this kind of cow, you're that cow, label them, get ready for the meat packing because the cows ain't gonna end up in the stacks, If they're lucky, they might, but we will. Because we are obsolete. Everything we do in this world is obsolete, which is why now is the time for consciousness and moving beyond it. All right. Time to stop making the donuts. Time to stop eating the damn donuts too. Drink smoothies. That actually fits with that analogy too. Time to stop making the donuts. They got sugar in them, they're gonna kill you. Except for the healthy, there's some healthy donuts out there now. Peter Joseph.
Hi.
3 questions.
I'm Peter
Let me
Joseph.
explain who Peter is real quick. And I'm explaining to you who Peter is, and I have really no damn idea who Peter is. I'm gonna tell you what I know of Peter, because I don't know Peter, I don't know nobody. But this is what he does. How about that? I tell you what he does. This is his channel right here. TMZ official channel. And for the most part, it's not even his channel, right? He began this with his first book. What was the name of it? I guess it wasn't called the Zeitgeist Movement. I forgot the name of his first book. But he's been going around the world, lecture after lecture after lecture, talk after talk after talk after talk, trying to explain what I saw while I was in corporate America. While I did the whole automation, then engineering, robotics, all the stuff with these big corporations. He was trying to explain to you that, one, our markets were designed for conflict and failure. Okay, they were designed. There's a systemic flaw in the model of our elites, governments, the systems, the markets they put us in. And I'm gonna let him explain it to you. So he's done all the thought on this stuff, right? And he's got tons of videos, hours and hours and hours. You'll see him every now and then on the news here and there, peep in and pop out. But the important thing is to listen to people who've been thinking, dealing with opposition, changing the plan, thinking, dealing with opposition, changing the plan, thinking, taking the objection, changing the plan. Why? Because that person finally gets to a place where they understand how to fit an idea into a world universally, right? You got to debate with the socialists because they just in the ism. You got to debate with the communists, they just in the ism. You got to debate with the capitalists because they're in the ism and they're all indoctrinated to be the best. Like your boss told you, you the best. You always the best. You're the best. We're not gonna fire you. You're gonna be here forever. You're gonna, after the company fails, you still gonna have a job. And so I like this video because he kind of summed it up very succinctly. So I want you to take a look at this. But that's who Peter Joseph is, and this is why you need to listen to him, and you should be sharing this video.
Welcome to 3 questions. What do you propose? This thought exercise is intended as both an address to the average person concerned about global problems, along with those that are confused about or even in opposition to the Zeitgeist movement. I'm going to pose 3 basic questions here. If you disagree with the answers I provide, or perhaps even the premise of the questions themselves, I encourage you to respond with an alternative solution or a counter-argument. If you choose to do this, just make sure that you've reviewed the sources listed and keep focus. Again, this is about the 3 questions only.
3 questions only. Here's the rule. Rules of the game. That's why I love Peter Joseph. The brother ain't here to play. He rules the game. It's not like one of your stage debates. It's not like, all right, politicians, here are the questions and here are all your possible answers. No. Well, they say, here are the questions, because they do the statistics. They know what the monkeys want to talk about for the most part. And it's what the television tells them that they should want to talk about. And then the corporations come in and give the politicians the answers. Stage versus real. Stage versus real. Faking the funk, bringing the funky. All right, his funky, he laid it out. All the questions. Look, I've been around the world and talked to everybody, all 7 billion people. I got all my opposition. I answered all their questions. Is there anybody left? Ask me anything that you like. Is there anybody left who thinks that we should keep the model of the world the same, where we know where this is going? And he opens it up to everyone. But you got to do your homework first. Do your research. Don't bring your mouth. Bring your brains. Bring your intellect.
Now, before I begin, the term market economy will be used here throughout. And since people are quick to kind of get lost semantically about what capitalism or a free market supposedly is or isn't, I'm going to define my context now, hopefully bypassing any semantic confusion. When I use the term market economy, I am simply referring to the core attributes shared by every major market system variation in the world today. And only 3 basic characteristics are needed here. The first is labor for income. Obviously, the whole global economy is based on employment. This is how people gain money to survive and spend back into the system, keeping it going. The second is that all resources, goods, and services retain property value transferred by means of monetary exchange. Obvious enough, everything is bought and sold through the use of money, mediated by the market itself.
Money.
And third, the overall incentive strategy is based upon competition for demand, whether person to person or institution to institution, all oriented around the interest to A, save money on production, and B, maximize profits upon final sales. Again, this is the most basic gaming logic present.
Gaming logic, right? I loved it. I haven't even watched it and paid attention to the whole thing, but I got little chunks and pieces of it. I learned a few things, changed my mind on something, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. 1, labor for income, hours for dollars, slavery, right? Because this is why money was invented, right? To get human beings to go do something they don't want to do, right? They're free self creatures that can do amazing, wonderful things if left alone, but kings couldn't have that. Lords couldn't have it. They needed you doing what they needed you to do, okay? That's why they created money, slavery. And how did they do it? They needed to stop you from bartering. Why? Because you can go to your neighbor and give him 5 chickens for half of a tractor. You can take your lawnmower and you can get some milk for the lawnmower. the value of a thing was based on what you needed at the time, which is why people are screaming barter. They love barter, right? So in order for a king or lord to get in front of that, they had to break the barter system. They had to break the value of things. They had to give things a value. So they created their own thing, right? And what do they produce? Not a damn thing. They don't do anything. They had to produce something. They had more gold than everybody else. They had more silver and copper or whatever. So they took it and said, okay, this is my barter. While you're trading chickens and milks and tomatoes and eggs and houses and horses and cattle and like really important things that keep human beings alive, they came up with something that's useless. Money, right? Kings, man, they put their face on it too. They didn't even lie about it. They put their face on it. So basically, we're still in a barter system. There's no value anymore. Like things, the value you have for a thing is insignificant. It's only about the value the king has for a thing, the lords, and the governments, these families rule, right? They establish the value of a thing. And it's crony in a way, but we can talk about that. So the value of a thing, and then the self-maximize. This is tapping into the monkey part, right? 98% monkey, we like shiny things, okay? Self, I need to be me, eat the rich, right? This whole, we need to eat the rich. I'm glad nobody posts that on my timeline no more. Eat the rich. You want to be the rich. That's all it is. You don't want to eat you want to eat the rich, but you want to eat the rich and then take their car and houses and enslave me too. We're not doing that. It's time for a model change. That's what legislation is. Legislation is change, not transformation. We don't need any more change. They've been changing all over this world. What's changed? Nothing. All they did was redistribute resources, and this is why Trump is doing the same thing Obama did. No, the troops are not coming home from Syria. Obama colonized, Obama did his globalization. You thought Trump was gonna come in and stop the globalization. We thought Obama was gonna come in and stop it, and what is he doing? Now the tag team. Now they've established that that's our oil, and we'll decide in the future what we're gonna do with our oil in somebody else's country. Right? That's looting, all right? That's theft. That's thou shalt not steal for anybody who's like, is Jesus come again? But it's not, I'm not on him and I'm not on Obama. I'm just saying that legislation is about keeping things the same. That's what the government is there for. The government is to keep the model moving towards placing you in the stacks of the trailer park or getting rid of the human race as a problem in profit.
In the market. That's it. Very simple. And again, these characteristics are universal to all economies functioning in the world today. So on to question one. Given the market economy requires consumption in order to maintain demand for human employment and further economic growth is needed, is there a structural incentive to reduce resource use, biodiversity loss, the global pollution footprint, and hence assist the ever-increasing need for improved ecological sustainability in the world today? I'm
gonna make that question a little easier because the brother's smart. Sometimes people talk alien who are too smart. He asked you a question. I'm gonna simplify that question for you. Is there any incentive to create any sustainability in an unsustainable system? A system that requires unsustainability, it requires production and destruction. Is there any incentive for anybody to do anything sustainable? Is there any requirement? Is there any incentive for a politician to actually make your life more sustainable, to make the planet, to stop destroying the planet and sending everything to these corporations and elites? That's the question. A simple question. Is there any incentive in an unsustainable system that requires unsustainability to grow and requires growth to have any sustainability?
The most basic mechanism of the market is the movement of money. And like the gas pedal on a car, if monetary circulation slows, it means demand and turnover slows, and the average effect is a loss of jobs, loss of income, and a loss of economic growth. Therefore, consumption is the fuel of the market system, and the more we consume, the better the health of the overall economy. Yet this necessity for constant cyclical consumption is in complete contradiction to what is needed for basic long-term species survival.
Right. Understand that? Consuming. Tapping into your monkey genes for shiny things. This is why when you turn on your television, all you have are tons of advertisement about take drugs, buy things, ignore where they come from, get some diamonds, get some minerals, get your small electronics, upgrade your phone, and they basically brainwash and program you into thinking shopping is a good thing while you know the earth can't withstand any more consuming, okay?
Wouldn't it seem responsible to conclude that The goal of any viable economy is not only to meet the needs of the population, but to do so in the most strategic, efficient, and conservative manner possible. Yet the market incentivizes the exact opposite behavior due to this need for constant turnover. In fact, the entire basis of the market can be summarized in one paradox. The market justifies its existence by the recognition of scarcity, but due to its structural mechanics, actually promotes and rewards infinite consumption. If this confuses you, it might be because this contradiction remained rather hidden in the past.
It remains very hidden. So the market justifies its existence by the recognition of scarcity. They recognize it. This is what the debates are for. This is what talking points do. They recognize it. We got problems. They recognize it, and that's how it survives. It recognizes there's a problem, and they talk around the problem. They have legislation. They put Band-Aids on bullet wounds, right? Systemically, the model is collapsing. The person's going to die, but we understand that you're bleeding. That's why we work on some Band-Aids. We're going to Band-Aid the hell out that bullet wound. But you're still going to die. The planet's still going to get destroyed. The human beings are going to go extinct. It lives on the recognition. Now we talk about how politicians and political parties, they're always just enough right. They're just enough right to keep you believing in the system. And that's how it works. But it requires infinite consumption because it collapses unless it doesn't have that growth. There are only so many human beings on the planet, so there's only so much growth. There's only one planet that they're allowing us to live on or go to. So that infinite consumption requires the extinction of us and every damn thing on the planet, right? So this isn't rocket science. This is not hard. This is not a hard concept. You just got to look down the road. And this is why we need more philosophy and people who can look down the road, not look next minute.
100 years ago, our technical means were primitive, and the idea of being able to produce as rapidly as we do now, accessing major resources virtually at will, was a pipe dream. We simply didn't have the technological efficiency back then. For example, 300 years ago, a shoemaker could produce maybe a few pairs of high-quality shoes a day. Today, a common automated shoe factory can produce a pair every 30 seconds, or about 4,000 a day. So the level of production efficiency has increased so dramatically that we are no longer having a problem overcoming any scarcity of means. The problem now is keeping people consuming. By the way, if you're wondering why in the wake of all this great productivity, there are still billions of people who lack the most basic goods, that is the result of a different market mechanism, which will be touched upon in question 3.
We won't go there. Before he says anything, I'm going to keep the kids on the screen because you know me, we only have one purpose here, and that's for the next generation. It's the only reason we're even here. You have to keep people consuming, and by them consuming, they have to forget other people. You got to have identity, apathy, and indifference. You got to make them Democrats and Republicans. You got to make them blacks and whites. You got to make them Europeans and Africans and Latin Americans and Australians. You have to make them blind to other people, right? So they will keep consuming. You have to show them a fantasy false world. You have to show them commercials and happy people and happy times and good things are happening, and they're not. You have to steal resources from other countries like Syria. You have to give them identities. Right now, I love one thing that the brother Sage Guru says about identity. He says that the intelligence, it has no identity, right? Your intellect, it has no identity, none at all, none at all. It is a free thinking, critical thinking, root cause, problem solving machine. Your intellect has no identity. But the minute you attach an identity to it, it will use everything it knows to survive. Because that's the basis of us, right? And so when you establish and you say, I'm black, I'm Irish, I'm American, I'm LGBTQ, and any of the other letters they added in there, that's what I am, knowing that you ain't that. Your intellect will do anything it can to defend that. It'll look past these kids right here. It doesn't even see them. Doesn't even see them. All it sees is a new ring. You want to get married. Oh, girl. Oh, ooh, it's 3 carat, girl. Yes. Instead of the people who live in the nations who are murdered and starved to death so you can be happy about it and post, oh, but this isn't blood diamond, girl. This isn't a blood diamond. Every single mineral on this planet is a blood mineral. We've stolen it from somebody. In order to steal it, we had to dominate a country and murder a bunch of people and keep them down and oppress them, okay? Every mineral is a blood mineral.
The inevitability of market-generated poverty and inequity. Anyway, back on point.
Market
the modern
generated
economy
by.
is no longer scarcity-based on this level. It is consumption-based, as it needs high levels of turnover to keep people employed and growth going. And obviously, the side effect of all of this is ever-accelerating resource depletion, biodiversity loss, and destabilizing pollution. Now, there are, of course, countless corroborating studies that confirm how the world is increasing in its deficiency to meet the needs of the future population. Some estimates find that humanity will need 27 more Earths by 2050 to meet demand, for example. The rampant...
Pause there, because I got to make a correction. A few things he changed my mind on. We don't need a dozen more Earths. I think I posted that a few minutes ago. We need 27 more Earths to continue this. 27! And then people are like, oh, well, it's because we're overpopulated. It's too many of us. We got to have less babies. And I'm like, that's the queen saying that, right? She owns most of the land. You ever drive across America or your country? You know how much free land, how much empty, unused land is on this planet, but it's owned by billionaires that they just won't let you walk on, right? We don't need 27 more Earths for people. We need that to keep this model that we have of continuing to vote and cheer for a few to have every damn thing. 80 to 90% of every damn thing. Whatever that statistic is, that 1 or 2%, they own it all. Okay? We're not overpopulated. We're overstupulated. We got too many stupid people. We're over-ignorated. We have ignorant people who believe the television. That's why half the time everything is about anti-media, because they lie to you. They lie to you because they exist in that model, and that by design they're supposed to. The media is not bad; it's just a part of the design. They need you consuming and watching. Watching is consuming. They need you to keep watching. How do they keep you watching? Why? How do they keep you watching? They tell you what you want to hear. That's all. They tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what your indoctrination, your intellect has attached to, the identity you are. This is why television is almost designed from an identity perspective. You can take the news and link it right up to people's identity because they're telling people what they want to hear. And as long as you do that, you can keep this going. So the media is not bad, we're just stupid.
Severe biodiversity loss is not only disrupting basic biosphere functions, it is now a fact that virtually all life support systems are in decline, with 50% of all wildlife having been destroyed in the past 40 years alone. As far as pollution, these issues are nothing but accelerating in both water and atmospheric, creating tremendous destabilization and ongoing environmental damage and negative public health outcomes.
And it's not
and keep in mind, as explained at length in the Zeitgeist Movement's materials, these problems are not immutable. They can be fixed if an economic and industrial reorientation away from market economics was achieved. However, those specifics are not the subject of this essay.
But for the sake of it, you can't have markets. You can't have markets. You cannot have markets. You cannot have slave markets, because that's what they all are. All markets are designed for the exchange of things based on some sort of reward. We do need a resource-based society. Why? Because robots do it all, and you don't get taxed. No one has to be taxed for it. The automation, and this is what I keep saying it over and over, but the vast majority of jobs we've already automated out. They're just not sharing that information with you. They need to keep you working. So they'll use robots to do things, but they keep the prices high. You remember, you saw this in a very small scale with the auto industry, right? Remember when people in Michigan were flipping the hell out? Now Detroit is like a third world nation. Now remember, they're flipping out. They're sending all the automation jobs overseas. They're sending the cars, they're automating everything and sending it overseas. We automated 80% of the production of the car, and yet the price of the car didn't drop by 80%. Why? Why? Because they automated out the job and they kept the profit and they fired the people. And now that's being reproduced in every single industry, and now with very high-tech, complex jobs because of learning software. That's why I'm telling people this isn't another step in automation. This is not another step in progression forward. This is a paradigm shift. The minute we had learning software, it was over. Because then I don't have to automate out a digger's job. I can automate out a doctor's job, a dentist's job. I can automate out a painter and a musician. Because at that point, we have infinite processing ability and infinite strength and infinite time. And human beings can't compete with that.
For more information on that, please read the free online book, The Zeitgeist Movement Defined. Now, as a final point of evidence,
Hang on. I gotta answer a question. I'm trying to read the comments while I do it. Do robots need maintenance? That's a great question. I love it. Do engines need maintenance? And are engines getting better? Do they need less maintenance over time? I'll use an example of, motors, right? Pumps. We used to have to replace pumps. When the first pumps, you had to replace them once a month. They dry up. They would burn up, right? We got better with lubrication. We got better at rubber. We got better at things. Then you replace them once a year. Then you replace them every few years. Now we have pumps that run almost infinitely, right? Technology gets better to a point where you don't have to repair. You remove the moving parts, things get better and better, easier and easier, and don't break down. But besides the fact, you have robots that can fix robots. We already have that. And then on top of that is you have infinite consumerism anyway. Robot breaks, throw it away, right? If you have a factory that's cranking out drones that are bombing people, when a drone breaks down, do we worry about fixing it? Nope, we just let that thing crash, throw it in the water, whatever, because we're cranking them out of the factory. We have automated factories cranking them out. This is what I'm saying, that because if people are trying to find out, well, where are people going to be? Where are people going to be? We're going to have a spot. This is normal. This is not a paradigm shift. It's just the next movement. This is where you're going to be right here, if you're lucky. Okay? If you're lucky and the elites love you, you have nothing to offer them. You have nothing to offer them. This is the beauty of the movie The Matrix, right? We could offer them warm. Our bodies make heat. These people, they're not interested in our love. They're not interested in our consciousness. They're not interested in, not yet, not that I know of. We don't know what's happening with MK Ultra and the other part of the project that they didn't let us know about. But we don't have anything to offer them. There's nothing. That's what I mean. This is a paradigm shift, which is why we have to prioritize people who are thinking about this stuff, because I'm trying to tell you, I worked in the industry for decades and I ran from it specifically because I realized we're literally killing ourselves.
Cursory review of all recent historical attempts to stop overconsumption, slow biodiversity loss, and reduce pollution have been met with virtually a stonewalling mentality by the business community. Of course, there's no mystery to this tendency, because the fact is, acting in a conservative, truly efficient, and sustainable manner is literally the opposite of what the market requires to function in the long term, keeping this profit machine going. For example,
the opposite. So everybody who's yelling and screaming sustainability and they're heading out to the polls to vote, you can stop if you want. Or you can continue ahead. You keep doing it, but the market requires no sustainability. It requires the opposite of sustainability. It requires destructionability. The market is based in unsustainability. This is the depth of it. There was a brother that made a comment a minute ago I saw, talking about Peter Joseph, which is, he's attacking it from a model perspective, right? The core, not a little baby change, but a significant change. And I'm going back in the comments, and I'm sorry, brother, I should have said your comment when I saw it. And this is why we have to deal with things at the root cause level. And that's how I get down. That's why I'm not worried. I don't get into the side effects of things. Here we go. Oh no, his sister said, I think his sister said this, right? Okay, right. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say your name wrong, sis, but Hagiri Zora, she said it right up. She said, yeah, he believes that the world is run by business, power, and is immune to politics. Damn, that's a powerful statement. Girl, where you been? You sent me a friend invite. That's deep. He said it, and that's what he believes, but she said, listen to the depth of that comment. He believes that the world is run by business, power, and is immune to politics. Is the world immune to politics? Did the 100 families who created the governments create politics and made sure that they were immune to it? They literally have an immune system to protect them from your poor people politics. It doesn't care about your politics. And I'm gonna go on with that, sister. Who was the family, the billionaire? It was the Rothschild. One of the Rothschilds said it. Said, if you give me the ability to print a nation's currency, I care not who writes its laws. Said it right there for you. They don't care. They don't care. Politics. And another quote, I think, who's it? Chesterfield Montgomery might have said this one. Politics are for poor people who can't read or for poor people who don't know how the world works. The world is completely immune to politics. Like, here's a good does the boss in your job, CEO, the top, whoever runs things, are they immune to your politics at work? Working in the mailroom, you might be a dentist, doctor, whatever you are. Are they immune to your politics? You're talking to the other serfs and peasants. Hell yeah, they are. They're immune to that. They got things called retirement and HR. That's their immune system. They will fire you. Not only that, but businesses have killer robots, right? Another good example, San Francisco. They're immune to homeless people. Why? Because they almost got them damn robots to chase the homeless off. It's immune. Money makes the world go around. And the funny thing, sis, is we know this. And people say it all the time. Money makes the world go around. Money makes the world go around. Money makes the world go around. And then every 4 years, the television breaks them. And they think that politics actually can affect an immune system that in a body that the elite designed and then gave politics. Of course they have a way out. Of course, it is completely immune. They don't care about your politics. You know, this is why Rothschilds and Rockefellers and Mellons and Carnegies, they don't vote. They don't vote. Where are they in the political scene? Do you see them out there cheering politicians? No, they don't. They buy them. All right, contemporary politics won't solve our problems. Thank you, sis. That was a deep statement. I'm just going on with that. I saw your statement earlier. Conventional politics won't solve it. It won't solve it. Politics at all can't solve the problem. The only thing that can solve the problem is walking away. You gotta walk away.
Example, America's Environmental Protection Agency has constantly been attacked by interests worried about a loss of income and growth. Just last month, the Wall Street Journal ran the headline, "The EPA's latest threat to economic growth," attacking the EPA for its interest to improve air quality standards. And they're right. If the EPA does push forward, many jobs and billions of dollars will.
He might say something positive about the EPA, but let's deal with that too. Even the EPA, the protection agency, are they protecting the environment? Does the environment vote for the EPA? That's the question I'm asked. Of course they stop economic growth. Of course the business world at a certain level hates the EPA because they got selective regulations. They have preferred industries that are destroying environments. They hate the EPA, and the EPA hates the environment. Why? Because they have to. This is how the system doesn't work on sustainability. It works on unsustainability. In order for the EPA to have money and jobs and be in business, is they got to accept a certain level of destruction of the ecosystems. So they got to take a certain amount of money from certain corporations and policy and let them do certain things. And a good example of that is, every child tested in America is pissing out the top 11 pesticides. Why? Because they've destroyed the environment. With an EPA, they give you an EPA so they can pick and choose what industries can destroy what, where, and what states and what water, air, food, and everything else. This is what I'm saying. It's a core problem. No one gave you a sustainable department in a system that requires unsustainability. No one gave you the ability to vote out unsustainability because unsustainability is required to keep the model moving forward.
Will be lost. That is simply what happens when waste reduction and technical efficiency and conservation is applied to this system. If you need a more visceral example, look at what the developing nations are doing as they struggle to gain economic growth and raise their standard of living. It's all being done at the expense of the environment. China's push for massive industrialization and growth has been enabled by keeping low environmental standards, and now it has 16 of the world's most polluted cities. And again, if you look carefully, all developing nations are doing the same thing. They simply can't afford more green industrial methods at this point. As far as resource overshoot and biodiversity loss, perhaps the most...
Hang on, stop. Gotta answer a question. Hi, welcome, Ty. Ty said nothing is free. Is anything free? Is anything free, y'all? One thing is free. I know one thing that's free, and nothing else is free. I agree with you. We look around like nothing's free. Who's gonna do the work? Who's gonna make the robots go? Who's gonna, what's free? Love. Love is free. Love has no cost at all. Babies born in the world, we love them. No cost. Love has no cost. That's what I'm saying. Human beings gotta focus on the thing they're good at, not the other things. And what does love do? Well, for me, love and passion, they make me write software. I write software all the time. I'm not gonna go through the story of it again, but the whole point is I love the planet. I love life. I love kids. I love y'all. The adults, y'all get on my nerves, but I still love y'all. Doesn't mean I don't want to feed you. You have innovators that have enough love and passion, they're not going to stop. There are people who love music. They're not going to stop making music. They can't make music because they got to make the donuts. You got people who love art. They're not going to stop. Ty loves to perform. Ty can't perform. Why? Because we live in this sick world, right? Makes you choose a team. And if you don't choose a team, then they ban you from production. They ban you from doing things you love. So yeah, there's one thing that's free, and that's love. And that's all you need. You don't need anything else to be free. Everything else comes from that. So through that love and the love we have for each other, which is why we talk about we're all one. We're all connected. You can't do anything to anybody else that doesn't affect everybody, right? So that's the only thing that's free. Like everything in this world, you can get on love. Everything you can get on love. You know, it's just an answer for automation and technology and freeing the world's innovators to do the things that Peter Joseph is talking about. Yes, Chris, give us free. Famous line from Amistad, a movie you need to watch it. That's the whole human race right now, but America can't hear it because it's so locked up in this little ignorant, silly things that they got going on.
Clear description of this clash was made in the 2010 Convention of Biological Diversity report. In 2002, 192 countries got together and agreed to slow biodiversity loss, only to come back 8 years later completely defeated, stating, none of the 21 sub-targets accompanying the overall target of significantly reducing the rate of biodiversity loss by 2010 can be said definitively to have been achieved globally. Actions to promote biodiversity receive a tiny fraction of funding compared to infrastructure and industrial developments. Moreover, biodiversity considerations are often ignored when such developments are designed. Most future scenarios project high levels of extinctions and loss of habitats throughout this century. And of course, why would we expect anything else? Our economy literally has no structural incentive to adjust. There is no direct market reward to preserve resources, habitats, or reduce consumption in general. All it knows is that people need to keep buying stuff, and the more they buy, the better everything is supposed to be. So back to the question I ask again. Given the market economy requires consumption in order to maintain demand for human employment and further economic growth as needed, is there a structural incentive to reduce resource use, biodiversity loss, the global pollution footprint, and hence assist the ever-increasing need for improved ecological sustainability in the world today? The answer is no. There is only the external incentive, meaning the frustrated outcry of concerned citizens demanding for this or that change, which in truth simply won't do anything in the long run. Why? Because it goes against the most basic premise of the market's functionality itself. The only true solution is to overcome the structural flaw, not by fighting it with legislation, but by changing the system. To do that, we must replace the current economic model with one that structurally incentivizes and rewards conservation, true technical efficiency, and overall sustainability. And on a final note, right now it is safe to project that due to this habitat destruction, biodiversity loss, resource overshoot, and CO2 pollution, we very well could be entering a period of what's called the sixth great extinction on Earth. And unless things change rapidly, the next generation will be one of great suffering and disorder. Question 2. In an economic system where companies...
Great suffering and disorder. Hang on, I gotta show you the picture. Some people haven't seen it. Great suffering and disorder. If we're lucky, this is what we get. Order and stack trailer parks on massive steel frames. That's if they love us. Short of that, when people don't have the things that they need, they go nuts, as they're supposed to. They will become warriors to survive, and they will act how the kids do in inner cities and trailer parks, beefing with the police. This is why I said the other day, a police state is a requirement of an empire, period. An empire in collapse needs a police state, because when it's collapsing, those resources become scarce, and really, really bad behavior comes from the monkeys because they didn't discover consciousness, and they're still being utilized for struggles and conflict and identities to do that.
Seek to limit their production costs in order to maximize profits and remain competitive against other producers. What structural incentive exists to keep human beings employed in the wake of an emerging technological condition where the majority of jobs can now be done more cheaply and effectively by machine automation. The long-standing defense of those who claim there is no problem with machines replacing human jobs.
This ain't gonna answer the question. We just dealt with that. It's a simple question. What you gonna do? That's it. What you gonna do? The robot's coming for you. What you gonna do? That's it. They can do your job. They do everything. They do everything better than you do than love. What you gonna do? That's the question.
Is that overall technological innovation will simply balance everything out by eventually creating new human occupations, absorbing anyone who was displaced prior.
We're gonna fix the robots. We're gonna change the foots and the oils. They use essential oils, and we're gonna have to make the oils, and we're gonna nothing. These robots will be like toothbrushes. Okay, when they're done doing what they need to do, they throw the toothbrush away. Right. Before they make robots that simply don't break down. And this is another thing you can look up to make that point, is planned obsolescence. If you don't know what planned obsolescence is, look that up. Things are planned to become obsolete. They're designed to be broken so you can buy another. Like, yeah, but my car don't last but 10 years. Who's gonna make the cars? You realize that they did that on purpose. You think houses not supposed to make it 800 years? We have houses that are 800 years old that still standing today. It's our Brother Kelly. Brother Kelly was here a minute ago. He makes hemp houses. We have hemp houses that have been standing for over 1,000 years. There are clay and cob houses in Africa that have been standing for thousands of years. You know, it's a pyramid that's still standing. Y'all hear about the pyramid? Guess what? It's a pyramid, and it wasn't made as a tomb, but you can live inside. It's like a house structure. The damn thing, I know they're gonna say, oh, it's 10,000 years old. No, it ain't. Shut up. They done found crustaceans on the side of it. Last time the ocean was over by the pyramids was well over 10,000 years. The pyramids could be millions of years old. They literally make things to break down so you will buy more. This is the false reality we live in. Well, the airplanes are crashing. We got to repair them. They make airplanes to have a lifespan. I'm literally in a building right now that's almost 200 years old. People that made this building out of rocks and mud and mules and hand tools. And the house is standing 200 years. Do you think that we can't make houses that don't stand but for 15 years before they got cracks in the foundation, falling down, problem, oven breaking? They literally put ovens and refrigerators in the house that will break down before you sell it. They know that you only bought the house because the kids are growing up, you ran out of room, so you bought the big McMansion because you wanted to post it on Facebook because you wanted to seem like that you're so successful in slavery world that you're doing good in massa. And so you posted the house, got all the square footage that you don't even use, bathrooms you ain't seen in months, and they filled their place with appliances that will break down by the time you sell it. They know you only want to be in there 10 to 15 years because the kids graduate, go to college, move out, find a girlfriend, do whatever they damn do. And it's just the two of y'all. Or y'all get your divorce because you met Rico Suave and he done met somebody. You don't want the big house no more. So all the appliances are planned obsolescence to break it. See, here's the problem with making a society that's modeled in stupidity, right? Because everyone does stupid things. All the industries, they all put unsustainability into everything. Things don't break down. They make them break down. They put things in them to make them break down. So you got to come back to make money. The auto industry did it as a last example, right? The cars were lasting too damn long. I had uncles, they had competitions. Who can make the car last a decade or more? Remember the cars on the road, they were 500 to 100,000 miles? You think it's a coincidence now? Cars, after 80, 100,000 miles, people getting rid of them? Well, one is the TV, right? Playing obsolescence in commercials because you got to be better than everybody else. You got to have a better car. So they brainwash you through programming to make you do that. But also, it's the auto industry. They started putting things in them to make them break down. The cars were lasting too long. Like, oh, the cars used to last 5 years, 3 years. Now they're lasting 10 years. Oh, we can't have this. They started losing money. So what they do? Service. They invented something called service. They wanted to serve you because you buying the car they wasn't making enough money. They were growing too fast, so they made their money through service. They stopped making money on the sale of cars. They made some money, I'm sure. But the majority of the money came from service. And it was so obvious. And now look at today. You can't even work on the car. We repaired everything. My first car, I rebuilt at 18. I rebuilt the engine. I was always constantly cleaning the carburetor. I didn't rebuild the transmission, but I changed the transmission. You know, why? Because you can work on a car. You can't work on a car now. You need special tools and things because they're making money in service. They keep checking us there's always a check. Anytime this is why legislation doesn't work, because you're trying to make a little change to a system that needs a transformation. Its core is based in unsustainability, so the default, the staple is gonna be unsustainability.
And while this perspective may have seemed viable given, early periods of slow technological change, the ever exponential advancement of automation potential is now far outpacing the creation of new human-exclusive labor roles.
Exactly.
And as the trend...
Learning software. Yes, Chris, he uses big words. He's a smart dude. Every now and then you gotta bring in smart people. Because we sit here, we make jokes and talk about lemons for deodorant and smoothies. So you gotta bring smart people. Big words, I'll make it simple. He just said what I told you. Learning software was the difference. It's one thing if I gotta program that robotic arm to constantly go here, do this, go here, do this, go here, do this, error happens. I don't know, fly, bug, slug, something crawls on the thing and it causes a problem. It doesn't know what to do. But now you have an eye, you have an optic lens that's watching it being made. It understands there is a problem. How do we get past this problem? It's a fly, it's on the circuit board. Wait till the fly moves. The fly moves, restart. Now, there's nobody to maintenance. There's nobody to fix. It's literally learning because it went through a situation, it understands it did not have the needed outcome, and it made a modification to its behavior so it doesn't do it again. I can program that in, or it can learn it for itself. This is the danger. This is the clear and present danger. It's not Republicans, it's not Democrats, it's not racism, it's not walls, it's not immigrants, it's you. You're the problem. Stop being the problem. We have transformations to
show. It is simply a matter of time before it becomes most cost-effective, reliable, and productive.
Hang on, I gotta answer a question. Hang on, Adrian's got it. Right, he says this is somebody. Okay, that's what I tell my wife. She says I'm being negative, and you are, Adrian. You're being negative. You're being negative. She ain't lying. She's not lying. Adrian, she's not lying, brother. Hey, listen. You're being negative. You when you affect somebody's world, when you're telling them that hey, the politicians don't have the answers. You're telling them the world doesn't work the way that they feel that it should work, the way that they've built a whole life, and to a degree, I don't know, let me think about that for a minute. That's kind of because as men, we don't really have as much problem with problems, right? We're a little okay with some conflict. That's just, there's something in us that we are quick to look at problems. I think women might be better solving problems, but we're like, you know what, this ain't good. We need to make some changes here. And so, when you affect someone's life, right, the lifestyle, and this is why identity and this system is so powerfully destructive, is we build lives based in lies. And when someone comes along and tells you that your life is based in a lie, your lifestyle, everything you built up around that, your college, your education, your degree, your job, what you taught your kids, the house you bought, the car, that it makes you upset. And it feels like, and it seems like it's negative. And to me, I think it never really felt negative to me, Adrian, because I've always been in the innovation industries. But to someone who hasn't, I don't think they really can see that. But waking up is a hard thing to do. Me waking up out of democratism and for a minute republicism and libertarianism, it hurt. Capitalism. Me waking up in those things because it meant that I had to accept it. I hurt it. A lot of damn people. I've done a lot of wrong things in my life. We don't like to be wrong, but that's why we got to be open-minded as much as possible. We have to apply love and compassion as much as possible. We have to apply empathy, and we have to be willing to examine ourselves and say, damn, I was wrong, and change. But the system doesn't prioritize that, right? It rewards people who are right. So it's not negative. It seems negative at first. And this is why I love Peter Joseph, because once people see, no, there is a way. It's not on TV. It's not on Fox News. Not going to be on CNN. The Republicans aren't going to say it, and none of the Democrats are going to say it. We have a way out. We're just not taking the way out. And that's the beautiful thing is we can walk away into a better world. It's just a choice. And that's where the negativity goes away when people can see the vision. So I would recommend put her onto the Zeitgeist movie, Venus Project. I don't know, make her a good dinner, buy some rosé. What she like? Get a little, something, sit down, honey, we're gonna watch this together. Let's just, I know it seems negative, but let's look at the solution. Right. We like to talk about the negative stuff. Adrian, I get caught up like with the Federal Reserve now. They're still spending this $50 billion. They're bailing out the other banks. Feels a hell of a lot like the Great Depression. But knowing that there is a way out, Brother Chris before was talking about planting seeds, going back to sustainability. They made us dependent on them. And so anything that doesn't involve them, we're scared of. All right, that's it. Keep going.
In all major economic fields to automate. First, let's consider the potential. Today, there are numerous corroborating studies showing the capacity of automation, including the conclusion that right now, over half of the world's jobs can be mechanized. Second, we need to consider A, the trends of employment shifts by industry, B, the staggering rise in productivity related, and C, how automation costs are undercutting human labor costs. I'll be using the United States as a statistical base, a proxy, if you will, for if it applies to the U.S., given its advanced technological state, then it applies to the rest of the world in the context of trends and potential. Sector shifts.
Because the whole world follows this central banking model. They all follow wherever they go, because if you don't follow, we blow you up. Okay, that's what war is for, to give you a central Rothschild bank.
There are three core economic sectors: agriculture, industrial, and service. In 1870, about 75% of Americans worked in agriculture, while today it's about 2%.
2%.
Why? Well, there certainly hasn't been a loss of agricultural demand, right? And while food imports in the U.S. have grown to about 17%, that obviously doesn't balance the near 98% drop in its related employment sector since 1870. And neither do increases in textile, fabric imports, or the like. This drop is almost entirely a result of machine automation.
Machine automation. So once again, and I haven't even watched the end of this, I'm just walking through it. Got rid of the car, got rid of the humans that make the car, the prices dropped. The price didn't drop, the price went up. Same thing with food, same thing across, because it's always about profit. The basis of this system is money, debt. Get more money, create more debt for other people. Get higher in the pyramid, push others down, from corporations to people. When the staple of the system is unsustainability, then that is what it will do. It will thrive on whatever it needs. We all need money, and that's what everybody is so upset about. Now, your wife doesn't hate Trump. Wife doesn't hate Trump. Let me tell you. Tell her I said that. Tell her I said she doesn't hate Trump. The TV programmed her to hate Trump. And so it's repetitive, it's programming. They say it over and 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 over. And finally, your subconscious thinks that Trump is the problem. It has to be. That makes perfectly good sense. But all of this began like 200 years ago, right? Further than that, probably 1,000 years ago. But she's programmed. We're all programmed. So it's not even about her, it's about all of us. We're all programmed. We're programmed to think the problem is what it ain't, so the system can maintain itself. That's what the media does. And then we're also programmed that we're right. We're right. If you are programmed in a society to take pride in being correct and everybody else is wrong, knowing that everybody's always wrong, we got a major problem. All right, let's keep it going.
Where did the jobs go? The industrial sector and the service sector. U.S. industrial labor reached its peak around 1950, dropping from almost 40% to about 20%. Why? Well, the common assumption is that globalization and labor outsourcing and manufacturing is the cause. And while there may be short-term and regional relevance to this, on the global scale, in the long term, it is completely irrelevant, as virtually all nations, especially the developed nations, are experiencing the exact same trends. The reason, hence, is the same as with agriculture: technological application displacing human labor.
That's it.
Now we come to the service sector. Today, over 80% of jobs exist here. It's been the safe zone, given this kind of work is less physical and more about mental focus and thought. It's more versatile and difficult. And up until the late 20th century, the idea of thinking machines and advanced machines that could replace these variant labor roles was pretty much deemed science fiction. Yet, this sector is now quickly being threatened due to the exponential advancement in programmable intelligence and robotics. Bank machines, automated phone systems, point-of-sale kiosks, processing programs for general software, restaurant automation, automated transport, of course. If you can think of it, someone is working to automate it. And just like agriculture and the industrial sector, the use of automation is also ensuring A, higher productivity, and B, lower costs for the businesses.
Pause there. Higher productivity, lower cost. Is that an option for business? No. Not if you want to stay in business. The options for business, they have to become increasingly productive, which means they have to get rid of you, and lower costs, bottom line, which means they have to get rid of you. Okay? That's a requirement of a corporation. This is why I say corporations can't exist anymore. I don't say it. Science says it. Mathematics says it. It doesn't get to exist. Not on a planet where you have human children, because the model is to get rid of you, period. And who's going to do it? Well, we need to fight automation. You can't fight automation because there are too many of us. There are too many innovators and engineers. We got kids, we got wives, we got husbands, we got houses, we got cars. We're locked into the same slavery you are. We have to have increased productivity the same way you do, and we got to lower the cost. We got to get better and better high-paying jobs and reduce our expenditures to survive beyond you. So the robots are coming. You're not slowing your automation. You're not stopping it. You're not putting a bump in it. None of your politicians are. It's gonna happen because the corporations exist and they're gonna hire us. And if I don't want to do it, they're gonna pay someone else. I left the industry. It doesn't really matter. I guarantee you, after I was gone, I was already replaced. I guarantee before I left, I was replaced because people love playing with big robots. You ever see a man on a what are these big machines that they use, the forklifts on the side of the road, working on the road? Does he look like that he's not enjoying his job? I didn't see these guys do flips with these damn things. They turn around, flipping them, doing things, picking up the rocks, drop it over there, got the music in the background, just he kind of just grooving with it. You know, he's listening to like Earth, Wind, and Fire. He's fixing the road. And I'm like going to slavery, like, why is he having so much fun? Because we like big machines. We're big kids. We like to play with things. All right? So someone's always going to do it. The corporation needs it. It's a requirement to stay competitive, to stay a corporation, and they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep getting rid of your jobs. There's nothing you can do about it.
Trend statistics prove this without a doubt. A, productivity. Human employment is now actually inverse to productivity in most cases, meaning that in all instances of automation, it not only removes jobs, it actually increases output efficiency. Here is a classic chart example from manufacturing. The blue line is the increase in production, and the red line is human employment. It's a staggering diversion. B, as far as cost reduction, what needs to be understood of automation is not only...
Do you see, does this look like this ends well? I know sometimes it's hard to read charts because of the TPS reports and the data from the spreadsheet. That's why charts and graphics, they help. Does this look good to you? Did you hear what he just said? Let me play back.
It not only removes jobs, it actually in the industrial sector. The use of automation is also ensuring A, higher productivity, and B, lower costs for the businesses. Trend statistics prove this without a doubt. A, productivity. Human employment is now actually inverse to productivity in most cases, meaning that in all instances of automation, it not only
no. This is productivity, and this is human employment. So you tell me where is this going to end? Tell me where's it going to end? Where's it going to end? Right? Where does this go? Where does it end up? I got to hide this. This is where it ends. If we're lucky. This is where, no, you're not going to retire with their big McMansion. You don't get to retire with that. They're not going to let you have it. It's too much land. They want all the land. They need all the food. They need all the water. They need all the minerals. They own it all. You can maybe have a box from an old trailer stacked on top of some sort of steel structure. I know you used to be a doctor. I know. You never thought your job was going to go, did you? Neither did I. No, actually, I did. We've been watching you a long time. We got the eye watching you now, learn how to doctor. You know, but who needs doctors when you don't have a lot of humans? Think about that. You need engineers. You don't need.
It removes jobs, it actually increases output efficiency. Here is a classic chart example from manufacturing. The blue line is the increase in production, and the red line is human employment. It's a staggering diversion. B, as far as cost reduction, what needs to be understood is that all technological innovation is now becoming what's called information-based. Whether it is literally the digital programming, such as a program running a machine, or the very process of creation of the physical machine itself. And what is the developmental trend of information-based technology in the 21st century? Exponential. And this is not only relating to the advancement of technology itself, making things smaller, stronger, and more powerful, it also reduces resource needs, and the cost of emerging technology invariably becomes cheaper. As a classic example, this is why the chip in a common cell phone is thousands of times more powerful and thousands of times less expensive than the supercomputer of the 1970s. Hence, it is simply a matter of time before a great many of currently out-of-reach automation tools, such as thinking, cybernated robotics, can perform virtually any basic human role and become so affordable that not to automate becomes a detrimental business decision. And by the way, if you're one of those techno-capitalist apologists that says this price decrease in cost will simply make consumer goods that much cheaper as well, and therefore compensate for the loss of income generated by the use of automation, you're overlooking one critical function of the market system. The market needs scarcity to function. Abundance has no role in market mechanics. And the profit structure itself does not view reducing costs as a means to simply increase affordability of the end product in and of itself. It does it first and foremost to increase profits. The only reason you see the price reduction is because of the competition occurring in an industry as each company works to one-up each other's cost efficiency basis via similar methods.
You see that? That's a lot. I break it down if you need me to break it down for you. It's a lot to take in. The bottom line is that the reason the prices keep going up is because they need them to go up at first. They do it for profit. And you might see them come down a little bit. The cost of the television after that comes down a little bit. Why? Because they want to keep the humans buying it, right? But when you can't buy it anymore, what happens? There's only profit at that point. Why is there only profit at that point? Well, because they're making things and they're competing with other billionaires, right? You know, Sony is competing with, I don't know, who makes speakers now? I don't know, I don't even buy speakers. Does anybody buy speakers anymore? Do they sell speakers anymore? You know, Ford is competing with Chevrolet, right? The billionaires, they're competing for that market. They're not making cars for you because you can't afford the cars. The robots, the robots got to get to work. And that's why the 5G is going up everywhere. The robots got to get to work. And so, but the robots are getting paid more and more. Actually, robots don't buy anything and they don't sell. But the whole point is that it's a competition basis. So because we're not in the system doesn't mean it's not going to stop competing. They're going to continue to compete, right, at the billionaire levels. But it'll be way out of our price range. We ain't got jobs. We right here, you right here, and I'm over here. If we're lucky, if the billionaire loves us, you right here and I'm over there. And we can't afford to get to work in the drones, the robots in the drone. But then again, the robots ain't even going home, are they? They're not even going home. Nope, they're not even going home. They live there. They don't stop working. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Rain, shine, power outage, whatever, sustainable. They're still making everything. That's the significance of where we are right now. There is no capitalistic way out of this system. There is no socialism way out of this. There is no communism. You can't get out of it except for walking away. The only thing that's free is love. And yeah, Ty said, you know, happy I was laughing at it. Ty taught me to do that. You have to laugh at the ridiculous stuff. That's what you got to laugh. That's why I laugh. People are like, why are you laughing at it? Crazy. Because the world going to end. Yeah, it might. Yeah, that's one possible outcome. But I laugh because people still want to do it. People don't see it. It's not funny that it's happening. It's ridiculous that people don't see it. This isn't mathematics. This isn't science. This is easy. This is addition. It's a piece of math. It's not quantum physics. It's not calculus. It's 1 + 1. You see the red line was going down and the blue line was going up. So GDP is going up and the red line is going down. But you're arguing for more jobs and guaranteed jobs, and they're arguing. It's just like the two. That's what's funny. What's funny is watching the entertainment of it. That's the funny part. I couldn't do that before until I met Ty and a few other people, and I realized I'm taking this way too seriously. Like I literally am. Like I started understanding manufacturer consent and people want to do this. It's like, okay, y'all want to do this. It's okay. I ride with you. I ride with you. I don't really have a choice. Y'all can try. I'm like Ricky in the car. I can't get out the car. Oh, Doughboy, let me out. He ain't gonna let me out. I'm locked on the human race. We'll ride in the car. But damn it, I ain't gonna cry in the car with you. The car head, we're like in a railroad car full of gasoline, and we're heading for a fuel station that's on fire. and they put the brick on the accelerator pedal in the train. I don't know if trains even got accelerator pedals. They probably driven by robots now. But just imagine that, and we're in the train, everybody yelling and screaming like, what you gonna do? The train is heading for the station. It's gonna blow up when it gets there. We're full of gasoline. What we gonna do? And one side's like, put the window down. The Republicans like, we need to put the window down. And the Democrats like, put the windshield wipers on. I'm sorry, come on. How's that not funny? How's that? Why ain't y'all laughing? Y'all mad or something? What's wrong? Is it Friday? You free today? It's funny to me. It is. I'm just like, okay, so my choices. I'm gonna die no matter what. Hashtag we all gonna die. I'm gonna die. This train, this currency system is going where it's going, baby. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna like get mad and upset about that. Shoot, we had a lot of fun yesterday. Yesterday was Halloween. Should we posting? Well, I'm gonna die anyway. Do I have to be upset with you? Do I? Adrian, where's your wife at? Did you invite her? You need to tag her. Listen, darling, I love you, but I don't want to be upset with you. I'm not mad at Trump. I don't care. I'm indifferent to putting the windows down or putting on the windshield wipers. We're on a train heading for a gasoline station that's on fire. I mean, you know what I'm gonna do? Because this is how I get down. I would just be like, listen, Dale, hey, can you turn the music up a little bit? Like we're gonna die, and I'm in the back of the train. Everybody's screaming, changing the carpet and they're cleaning the seats and they're gonna fix it with legislation and politics and political parties and stuff. And we know it's all a part of the train. It's all a part of the system. You're not gonna change the train. The train designed to go that way. The train is based on debt and consumerism and globalism, blowing up nations, stealing their resources. The train is going that way. You're not gonna stop it with anything on the train. And I'm just in the back, I'm just gonna laugh. Cause you know what? Cause if I'm in the back of the train dancing and laughing with Sarah and Gustin and Courtney and everybody, they be like, why are they dancing? Why ain't y'all upset with us? We screaming and yelling and getting mental illness and taking drugs and going to CVS all the damn time and Prozac and everything and drinking in our Viagra from the neighbor, pissing it out through the wall. How come you're not upset? I'm like, well, cause I know how the system works. This is a train. It's going that way and it's gonna get where it's going because you keep turning on the windshield wipers and putting the window down. That's why it's funny. It's funny to watch y'all monkeys just jump around. But going crazy, the Democrats and Republicans. It's kind of funny, actually. All right, I'm sorry. I'm stop laughing. And then maybe they'll like, okay, well, maybe I am upset. Besides, laughing makes you, it's good for your immune system. Laughing and smoothies. So I'm not gonna let you get me upset. I'm gonna die anyway. Why am I gonna be upset, Susan? Why should I be upset? Should I be upset? If I know the currency's collapsing and I can see the Federal Reserve pumping billions of dollars into banks to hold them up, and I know we all about to die, can I enjoy my last few, what we got? A few weeks, minutes, months, years. I don't know what we got, but we gonna hit the station because y'all don't want y'all still fighting over control over, if the seat gonna be way back or the Republicans want it up. The Democrats want the seats all laid back and the Republicans want it. I'm like, we still gonna hit. All right, I'm done with that. That's why I laugh. I laugh because hopefully you can hear us laughing and partying in the back of the train like, oh, we all gonna die. We all gonna die. Oh, turn the music up. Oh my God, yeah. I'm enjoying my last minutes. I'm not gonna do it with cancer and leukemia in the hospital because my immune system don't work because I'm worried about some politics. Parlor tricks. All right, I'm done. I know people get upset. I'm just saying, it's good for you. Laughing is good for you. And y'all a little ridiculous. Just a little bit. We don't have a debt-based system. We got a monkey-based system. They use your monkey needs for conflict and identity to fight with other people to get you to jump around a train, start pulling buttons and shoving people. It's a little funny. I'm sorry, I'm done. I know people mad. Republicans, Democrats ain't left a minute ago. It's a little funny, just a little bit. You ever go to the zoo and see the monkeys jumping around on the thing, peeing on everybody? That's funny to me. It is. I don't know why. I can't. You ever see? Now I never went to the zoo and seen the monkey jerk off, but I hadn't seen it in the internet. Somebody posted. I think Sissy posted that. I was like, oh my goodness, is that a monkey? And people just watching, and the monkey just. It's funny to me. It's funny because it's not gonna help you. It's like monkey. That's monkey. That's not how pregnancy works, monkey. You're not making more monkeys. But the monkey's having fun. The monkey knows he's in slavery, and that monkey that's in the zoo doing that, they're actually a little more productive than you are with your politics. Because at least that monkey having fun. That monkey, like, you know what? I know 100 people watching me, but dag nabbit. Before I get out of here, my immune system gonna work, and all right, I'm done. I know, y'all upset. Let's get back to it.
The point being, regardless of how cheap things become, at some point, the consumption deficiency resulting by the number of people unemployed by automation will override whatever degree of affordability is being generated by the lower cost products created. It is inevitable. And keep in mind, and this is really critical, all it takes is 20 to 30% human employment to completely destabilize society into disorder and outrage. That's it. So the question isn't, will we automate everything? The real question is, at what point will the cost efficiency of applied automation produce just enough unemployment to cause social destabilization and a debilitating loss of economic growth? So I ask again, in an economic system where companies seek to limit their production costs in order to both maximize profits and remain competitive against other producers, what structural incentive exists to keep human beings employed in the wake of an emerging technological condition where the majority of jobs can now be done more cheaply and effectively by machine automation?
I'm gonna ask that question another way for people who can get the question in layman's terms. If you got Democrats and Republicans in governments that are based in taking your jobs because they take money from the corporations that need to get rid of your jobs, will they give you more jobs? What's the incentive? Will they stop? No, they won't stop. Their literal model is to keep taking jobs from you, but to talk about the problem. Talk about the jobs, but keep taking them. That's how it works. And that's it. But Trump brought some jobs back. You think he brought back enough? How many engineers were born yesterday? You think that the humans stopped having sex? Are you reading the news? Do you watch TV? Do you know that the biggest websites on the internet are still the porn ones? Okay, they did not stop having engineers and innovators like me. They did not stop, and we love what we do. All we need is hot pockets and I won't say the other thing that we need because that's just watch the movie Revenge of the Nerds and you'll understand. I want to ask the question, what happened to the prediction that automation will be better life for the people, utopia? Well, first of all, mine is no utopia, doesn't exist, never going to exist. Not from a today perspective, right? But we live in a utopia based on people 100 years ago. We live in a utopia based on people 50 years ago. We live in a utopia, but to them, to us is not. So life always gets better, but there's no perfect solution. So what happened to the Jetsons and the, spatially sprockets and cogs, right? That's what happened. We thought we were going there. We like, we're going to end up there. We were. But then the elite said, why? Why should we make the cars, why should we do that? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? Does y'all remember the Jetsons? This is what happened. I think identity, I think monkeyism, we like fighting with each other. I know I said jettison, right, and of course it brings up some bombs. Because that's what's popular, that's what's hot and popping in the news. That's Jetsons, right? Because you get in the thing. Why? They're like, well, why are we going to make these for the monkeys? If they hate each other, the whites hate the blacks, and the blacks hate the whites, and the Asians hate the immigrants, and the conservatives hate the people coming in the country, and the Muslims hate the people leaving the country. Everybody hate each other, and everybody fighting, they're doing monkeyism. Why am I doing anything for y'all? Just like any parent. You got your kids arguing, fussing, and fighting, and you're like, listen, we're going to go to get some cake. Y'all, we're going to get some cake, and let's fight and get on your leg. Y'all just calm down. Y'all stop fighting and get some cake later. And they just keep yelling and screaming and fighting, throwing each other up against the wall, fighting over jobs and grades and incomes and raising their kids to be these apathetic bastards and whatever, starting wars. That's like, why are we doing this for them? Why am I going to take y'all to get some damn cake and y'all not listening to me? Why would the elites give us flying ships for free? Why would they give us the Jetson utopia if we love hating each other more? No reason. No reason. And power never concedes anything without force. I know I messed the saying up. So that's what happened to it. We enjoy being monkeys more than doing anything important. And so by default, return on investment, ROI. Why in the world should we give them a utopia if they don't want it? If they don't even believe it's real? Although I don't think that the belief part came into it. I think it was just people love being in conflict because they were born in these identities. I think the elite system, it just worked too well. It just worked too well. It was phenomenal at dividing people up. And after a while, they liked it. They're like, wow, we get a better return on investment if they keep fighting against their own interests and keep fighting each other. So let them keep fighting. And then I think they put in a little assistance to that, right? Like they'll put in this idea that there's no utopia, right? That's just fantasy, that's a hippie, and it'll never happen, and you gotta fight harder, and everybody else is taking what you got, and it's the brown people, it's the white people, it's other people, that's the problem. The problem ain't you, is in your mirror, they're the problem. And so things went from dreaming up this, this beautiful living and moving forward to just fighting with other people for chicken bones that falling off the elite's table. That's what I think happened to it. I don't think there's utopia, but you can always move forward. And they convinced us to stop moving forward. So we stopped socially evolving so we can fight with each other. And because the model is based on greed and profit, it was more profitable to keep each other fighting. So this is why they show only white cops shooting black kids, right? White cops beating up black kids. And you don't ever see the white kids getting beat up by the black cop. You don't see that. They don't show it to you. Right? Because they need to make you angry and aggressive and mad and hate Trump. Exactly. Case in point, Adrian's wife. Not about her, it's about millions of people. They're being programmed by the television to be in conflict with each other and things that have nothing to do with profit and how the system works. All right? It's designed in going to making the train go as fast as possible and getting people to play with the seat cushions to solve problems. To get the train, I need to find a picture now. Now y'all done took me down there. Train heading, let me see. Train heading on fire, right? Like the train is on fire, we're heading for the gasoline station, and the system is based in keeping that train going, right? And so it wants to keep the train going as fast as possible instead of anyone put the fire out. So we're barreling down the tracks. You know what I'm gonna do? Should I say that picture? I should say it. We're barreling down the tracks, and it's profitable for people to not focus on the fire. Focus them on Trump, focus them on this, focus them on this, focus them on another identity, use that identity to break their intellect, to make them ignorant. So, because the train has to go faster, and it going faster is profit. So the design is make the train go faster and get everybody in common. That's what happened to Utopia. That, in my opinion, what do I know? I'm just on the train. I want y'all to stop changing your shirt and thinking that's gonna help. It's not gonna help you. Oh, that's the problem. You're wearing Izod, not Prada. Oh, we need to go shopping. That's what it is. We go shopping, the train will stop, and then the fire, we have to worry about extinction.
The answer is that there isn't such an incentive, at least not structurally.
No,
some kind of general incentive may exist given the common sense awareness that people do need jobs for the market economy to function, but that recognition implies that employers would bypass such cost savings and efficiency and safety increasing technology just to give people jobs. The reality is that if a business has the choice between a human and the machine is more productive and affordable, they will choose the machine as per market logic every time. If they didn't, they would lose a competitive edge, as one of their more ruthless competitors certainly will make that move. Therefore, the only true, logical, and responsible solution in this scenario is to remove the labor for income system itself, hence removing the market and evolving to a new kind of economic interaction.
Transformation paradigm.
Question 3. In an economic system which inherently generates class stratification and overall inequity, how can the effects of structural violence, a phenomenon noted by public health researchers to kill well over 18 million a year, generating a vast range of systemic detriments such as behavioral, emotional, and physical disorders, be minimized or even removed as an effect?
Okay, Anybody want to break that question 3 down? Make it simple. Just take down this, how did the quote go? Take this ugly bag of snakes and just roll it up and make it easy for me. That ugly bag of snakes. What did it basically say? I'm summing up for you. You can't make rape go away in a system that it's a side effect of. You can't make it go away. You can't make looting go away in a system that it's a required side effect of. You can't make mental illness reduce when it's required for profit and the system requires the profit. You cannot make autism go down or reduce when it's environmental and the corporations doing it make money. They need to increase their profit, they need to get rid of people, and they need to sell whatever the hell in the environment, whether it's the air, the food, the water, the oxygen, the vaccines, the metals, the minerals, whatever it is, they need to sell more of it. They need to cause more of it. You need to create more Alzheimer's, not less. You're not going to make it reduce or go down or go away because you have corporations like Pfizer that got caught with the autism cure, the Alzheimer cure basically about a month ago, right? But this happened 10 years ago. How come we're just hearing about it now? Because that's the design of the system. The system is not broken. You're trying to fix a screw with a hammer and it's not going to work. Right? You're trying to vote like you have a democracy and you don't. You have an oligarchy. The parties serve 2 purposes. 1, to keep you fighting each other, ignoring all of these side effects, ignoring rape and destruction and pillage and kids, the side effect, and gang violence, and blaming all of them for their problems because something wrong with them. It's not something wrong with the system. It's got to be them. It's got to be the poor people. Right? The whole Epstein thing, right? He didn't get away. They didn't let him out. The poor people killed him because the poor people's always their problem. So never focus on what the actual problem is. Always give a believable problem that has nothing to do with stopping what's profitable. I saw a post the other day, and this actually led me down this road a little bit, and it said something to the effect that racism is about social reduction, or is about stopping people of a certain race from moving forward. And I'm like, no, it actually is not. You're getting things backwards. People post things because they sound good to your indoctrination and your identity. That get racism, right? Like, if we get rid of the racism, then the police will be nice. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. This is why I want the back of the train. This is why we turn the music up. Just turn the music up. We're gonna just listen to Public Enemy or something, but I am not getting into that, right? They don't hate your race, and so they hold you back economically. Nobody cares about your race. Nobody. How many people care about race do you know? Nobody cares about it. Literally, nobody cares about your race, your gender, your sexual preference. Nobody cares anything about. You buy a new car, you think they care, they like your post. They don't really like your car nor your house. They don't care. They're too busy in their own worlds, right? Racism is a side effect of social economics. You happen to be on the bottom, and so you happen to feel the worst of what question 3 is talking about. The mental illness, the violence, the aggression, the artificial scarcity, living in a system that requires somebody be on the bottom. And that person on the bottom has to fight something that won't change anything. And that's what they give you as racism. All right? Side effect. Don't fight side. If you want to start a pharmaceutical industry, then yeah, fight the side effects. Then you got it. If you want to actually solve a problem, you want to heal something, you got to stop fighting the side effects. Stop fighting with the police. Stop fighting racism. It's just a side effect. If you want to cure rape, or you want to cure people joining up with the Ku Klux Klan and MI6 and Bloods and the Crips, then you have to change the environment. You have to paradigm shift the system and stop fighting from within the system that requires the racism that you hate. Does that make sense? All right, let's keep going.
Many today talk about the horror of unnecessary death and suffering, from dramatic accidents to psychopathic behavioral violence to historical genocides, wars, and other atrocities. In this, we might notice a kind of moral relativism in what society prioritizes as most condemnable, most often highlighting visceral human versus human behavioral violence rather than taking a more objective view. Statistically, if we really wish to be comprehensive in locating the most prominent, ubiquitous, and unnecessary causes of death and suffering in the world, we would discover one main catalyst: class inequality and low socioeconomic status.
You know what? I just got an A on that. I'm sorry. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good. Because when somebody's smarter than you says something and it... right to it. Class inequality. Very simple. They create the class inequality. Show the picture of the ISIS guy, and and of course the reason ISIS exists is because they're evil and they're Muslim. It's not because they live in a country and you stole their resources and they don't like that. They were just trying to farm and have kids and live a life. Nope, that's not why it occurred. Because you won't be objective. The system is designed to keep you from being objective. This is why they censor the truth. You're not allowed to say truthful things successfully on social media. Everybody who's speaking the truthful things are gone. You're not allowed to become mainstream. You're not allowed to have mass influence when you are objective. You're only allowed to have mass influence when you agree with the core construct of the system. You have to be black, you have to be white, you have to be Christian, you have to be Muslim, you got to fit in this category, you got to be Democrat, you got to be in one of the conflict groups. Do you see what I'm saying? You got to be in one of the conflict groups that create all these social ills that are profitable to the system.
Class inequality and low socioeconomic status trump every other form of violence and public threat, hands down. The leading cause of death on the planet Earth is relative and absolute poverty. Period. Every single year, the near equivalent of 2 Holocausts, nearly 20 million.
Leading cause of death is poverty. If you are human, if you are sentient, if you have any sense of self and species, your only fight is against poverty. That is your main fight for human life. Your fight is not against ISIS and immigrants or any of the other nonsense. Your fight is against poverty. How do you fix poverty? We live literally on an abundant planet. Literally. Everything that we need grows out of the ground for the most part. All the land we need, we have. It's just being kept from us. Poverty exists not because it's a thing, because people are lazy. It's because those things are kept from them. The land is kept from them. The resources that they freaking live by right down the street is denied to them. That's why poverty exists. If you are a humanist, you only have one fight, and it damn sure ain't Republicans, Democrats, or your nationalism, right? All of that is keeping this train going till it hits that gasoline station.
Million people are killed by the inefficiency inherent to the market economy and its mathematical inevitability to create large class divisions and resulting human deprivation. In this, there are 2 types of deprivation to note: absolute and relative. Absolute deprivation is what the billion people currently not getting their basic nutritional needs are experiencing. This kind of deprivation is about basic physical needs not being met, and hence the manifestation of sickness and premature mortality due to a lack of resources and options. Relative deprivation has to do with the mental, emotional, and physical disorders that result from the stress of simply existing in the lower tiers of a wealth imbalanced society. For example, numerous studies that compare public health outcomes from one country to another based on the level of inequality in that country have found that those with the least amount of behavioral violence, the least amount of general crime, infant deaths, drug addictions, heart disease, many cancers, obesity, high blood pressure, low life expectancy, depression, general mental illness, and other reduced problems also have lower wealth inequality by comparison. Put together, these 2 forms of deprivation, absolute and relative, constitute what is called structural violence.
Structural violence. I'm going to say that from an American perspective, okay? If you have American privilege, you have relative, I forgot the word, what did he say? Relative violence, relative structural violence, relative versus absolute disparity, I don't know, Holocaust, bad things happening, not happy, sad, relative. You have American privilege. Things were stolen around the whole world to bring you the things so you don't have absolute.
Absolute and relative. Absolute deprivation is what the billion year, the near equivalent of 2 Holocausts, nearly 20 million people are killed by the inefficiency inherent to the market economy and its mathematical inevitability to create large class divisions and resulting human deprivation. In this, there are two types of deprivation to note.
Deprivation, there you go. Depriving other people so you can have more, right? Depriving people in Africa water and life and economies and governing that's safe because you want a bigger ring on your finger. Because you want a nicer, I don't know, Flavor clock. You want a nicer watch. You want to upgrade your smartphone. Depriving other people the things they need so you only have relative deprivation. And you still have it relatively here, and that's the whole point, is that the people on the bottom here, some of them live like they live in Africa, some of them live like they live in Latin America, some of them live like they live in the Middle East. You deprive others from having what they need so you only feel the relative hurt, right? The whole world, so you can have more. Right, the whole world is in an uproar right now. I keep getting these posts nice to find one video that the whole world is protesting their governments. Why are they all protesting their governments and Americans making the donuts? Stop making the donuts. Well, because we only feel it relatively, and you don't care about the people who feel it relatively. You don't give two damns about the kids in the trailer park. You don't give two damns about the kids in the ghetto. You don't give two damns about the people in San Francisco. You don't give two damns about the people in New York under the subway system. You have the things that you need, so you're happy. You feel it relatively, you got Prozac, so you feel better about all of it. You pay attention, and the news focuses you on the bad guy overseas, not to deprive people in the sewer, and you're fine with that, right? American privilege. This is why I don't do white supremacy and all of this nonsense, all these racist terms they come up with, that you got presidents who actually let that come out of their mouths, and you don't call it racism. Why? Because it sounded good to you. It made you feel good about yourself. It spoke to your identity. It told you what you wanted to hear. But it pissed a lot of other people off over there. Why? Because they're not experiencing that. They're feeling the relative deprivation in their communities. But you keep the communities in conflict instead of with the system. That's how you keep the system.
Absolute and relative. Absolute deprivation is what the billion people currently not getting their basic nutritional needs are experiencing. This kind of deprivation is about basic physical needs not being met, and hence the manifestation of sickness and premature mortality due to a lack of resources and options. Relative deprivation has to do with the mental, emotional, and physical disorders that result from the stress of simply existing in the lower tiers of a wealth imbalanced society. For example, numerous studies that compare public health outcomes from one country to another based on the level of inequality in that country have found that those with the least amount of behavioral violence, the least amount of general crime, infant deaths, drug addictions, heart disease, many cancers, obesity, high blood pressure, low life expectancy, depression, general mental illness, and other reduced problems also have lower wealth inequality by comparison. Put together, these two forms of deprivation, absolute and relative, constitute what is called structural violence, which is a systemic form of violence. That is typically not what many think of when we consider the idea of violence in general. I'll put it this way. If I put a gun to your head and kill you, we would all agree it is a direct act of mortality-producing violence. If I run a company that decides to save money by covertly dumping toxic waste into your town's water supply, and then 3 years later, a group of you in town get cancer and die from that pollution, I think we would all agree that it is also an act of mortality-producing violence, but more indirect and less
indirect. This is why I talk about you going to work, stop blaming the order followers. They like to blame the police. They like to blame the soldiers. They like to blame, whoever. If you got your briefcase, you got your laptop, you're going to work, you're working for that big corporation, just because you're not the one pulling the trigger doesn't mean that you're not the trigger man, trigger woman. We're all trigger people. No matter who you are, you're a part of the system. But once again, that's the whole system of blame. Everybody in the system that's holding up the system, blaming everybody else in the system but themselves, not looking in the mirror, right? And so, in fact, to be honest with you, if you ask me though, soldiers, they kill a lot less more than engineers do. Engineers are making the drones and the bombs. My goodness, was it Lockheed Martin that got the force shield now? It's the engineers and designers are murdering more people. It's the engineers and the chemists making the drugs and the synthetic drugs and the vaccines and all of this stuff, the glyphosate. They're killing more people than the people with the triggers, but they get you to blame the people on the trigger. Why? Because it's obviously not you. It's not you. This is what I'm saying with the system. It makes you think that you're right. It talks to your indoctrination. It talks to your identity. Doctors couldn't possibly be the problem because we have the Hippocratic Oath and we help people. Yeah, you do help people. I agree with you. You help people. And you also murder a lot of people because you're selling drugs for chemical companies that are creating epigenetic gene flips and problems way down the road that we don't need to be creating. Systemically, that's what I'm saying. The problem is that it's not the GMO and it's not the glyphosate and it's not the corporations, it's not the soldiers, it's not the Democrats, not the Republicans. Damn sure ain't no Trump and it's not Obama. It's the model of the system. It makes you think you're right, but everybody thinks they're right. Everybody in every side of every war and everything, they all think they're right. Most of my friends think they're right. They want me to be mad at Israel. And I'm just like, man, I can't get down with you. I can't. I see the matrix. I don't see the whole matrix, but I see enough of it to know that everybody's put in conflict with everybody and everybody thinks they're right. And as long as they think they're right, they're going to focus bombs on you and keep dropping. When you focus on the system, then you can end conflict. But you keep picking a team and somebody to fight. That's why when I talk about Israel and the Jews, this is how they get you all this anti-Semitism stuff, right? Because you say something and it makes everybody angry and upset, and then you pick the team and now you're fighting. Instead of saying, you know what? It's screwed up what's happening over there, right? The people who all died hundreds of years ago promised that land to the Jews. They promised it to the Palestinians who were already there, and they promised it to another group. I forgot the name. And they're fighting over it. So instead of saying, you know what, we can build an abundant world, take care of everybody. I get you were born in Israel, you were born in Palestine. Guess what? We got a land over here. Who wants to come over here? We got Nevada. Nobody lives in Nevada. He's got Area 51. You're gonna shut down Area 51, let you come live here. Right, but don't do that. They're gonna get you all. Don't run down the damn Area 51. But we have enough to take care of everybody. You know, but it's this indoctrination, it's an identity, it's in a truth community like it's everywhere else. You know, you think you're right. And you pick a team to fight from within the system to change the seat covers in the train. And the train is still heading. Like you're helping, you know, answer, solution. Look at the root cause and come up with a solution that's universal. When it works for everybody, everybody wants to do it. When it works for half the people, you gotta fight. When it works for 80% of the people, you gotta fight. But when it works for 98% of the people, because 2% of the people on this planet own every damn thing, it happens. You might get a fight from that 2%, but the vast majority of that 98% say, you know what? That actually makes some sense. That actually makes some sense. I know people don't like this. A lot of people won't watch me just because I got friends still in my feed and like, you want to attack the Jews. Why am I going to attack them? Why? If we got solutions that fix the problem, why are we still using violence and aggression and force and hate and anger to fight with people? Why not give everybody, you give the people over there what they want, and guess what happens? They walk away from Netanyahu. Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? You give the Kurds what they need, they walk away from war. You give the Syrians what they need, they walk away from it. You give people what they need, they walk away from it. Nobody wants to be in conflict. You saw a Braveheart. Everybody just wants to find some fine chick to live in a mud hut and grow some food and have some babies and not have prima nocta from the king. Everybody wants to be left alone, right? Thank you, Lord. The word Zionist, right? There's a difference between a Zionist and a Jew. Difference. You don't know the difference. You don't want to know the difference because you're so angry and hateful like they are. You know, when you start solving problems, then things go away. And plus, these are all fantasy constructs anyway, right? Zionism. Why is it there? Because you got people who are scared. Guess what? Stop making them scared. They walk away. Stop scaring people, right? It's like the whole racist thing. We got to stop the white people and white supremacy. Why do you think the KKK has membership now? Why do you think their membership is up? Why do you think the skinheads membership is up? Why do you think racial violence is happening around this country right now? It didn't just come out of nowhere. No, came out your TV. Okay, it got you upset and you grouped up over there, so they grouped up over there. That's what they're supposed to do. That's why I ain't in your fight. That's why I'm in the back of the train. Just go and turn the music up. They're going to have it, whatever. Y'all going to get together, have your racial thing. Go ahead. I'm kind of a little more upset about the train heading toward the gasoline station. But it's easy to break people because you're monkeys. That's fine. I love you to death, but damn it, you need to get out of that 98% monkey gene. Stop with the conflict. When you have a real solution, you run to the real solution. I'm going to shut up, let Peter Joseph, because It boggles my mind. If we're going to talk about truthful things, we need to talk about truthful things. If we want to pick a team that's true-ish, then we can do that. But I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for a big following of people that agree with my true-ish perspective. Let's look at what's true. Like early on in the video, he attacked cronyism, crony capitalism. I say it all the time. We got a crony capitalist system. Yeah, we do, but that's not really the problem. He explained earlier. I had to walk away for a minute because I heard that part. And I changed my mind. And I'm going to change how I speak, right? Because no, we don't have a crony capitalist system. We have a free market system that people dominated and they became crony. That's still a free market system. There's nothing to change. It does not work. Capitalism does not work, period. And I get that now. I get it, and I only got it about 45 minutes ago. It's okay to be wrong. I was wrong. I'm not going to say crony capitalism. We got a free market system. It's just some of them were a little better at it than we are. All right? That's all. We have a free market system right now. You can stop fighting for it. Socialism, we got that too. You just need a big corporation to get all the money you want, to get everything you want. All you need is a big corporation. We got that too. How's that working out? Kids shooting each other in gang violence, dominating streets, dragging people through the woods, still hanging folks. How's this working out? How's that working out? I'm a little upset. Now I'm press play because, all right, I'm just gonna press play because I started to think about things. It's insane. It's insane to me that we still got people that would drag themselves out, hang a rope on a tree and hang themselves. If anybody in your nation freaking does that, you don't have a nation. You have an oppressive, gulag, slave, hate society modeled up with pretty people in suits, so you think it's not that. And it was a white dude. That's what gets to me. It gets to me. Like, this is what I'm saying. Your identities, it's lazy sociology. It's just lazy sociology. You don't want to do the work. You don't want to do the work. So you're in the black struggle. You're in the white struggle. You're in the nationalist struggle. You're in the Democrat struggle. You want to group everybody because you don't want to do the work. You don't want to look at the data. You don't want to realize that everybody has a completely individualistic perspective, and to put millions of people in a group requires you to make tons of false assumptions, which are completely not true. And you make all those assumptions, the data, the result that you end up scientifically is going to be a false result. But people are okay with it because they're indoctrinated to be.
It's obvious in intent. Likewise, it is now well established that people with low socioeconomic status are much more likely to die of heart disease than those in upper classes. It is a known fact that the toxic condition of simply being poor, both in absolute and relative terms, manifests this disease amongst many others. And yet, when people do die as such, rarely does someone bring up the idea of indirect violence, or more accurately, structural violence. Why? Because the outcome can only be measured by statistics across a population and not deduced from any singular case. So it's counterintuitive to our education. But yet, there is no principled difference between being killed by a gunshot to the head, being poisoned by a company's pollution, or dying of heart disease because of the causal chain reaction set in motion by the economic system. A system that artificially generates economic inequality and poverty, invariably forcing some people to exist in the toxic condition of low socioeconomic status.
Artificially. I'm not going to do a rant. I'm just going to say artificially. I want to make sure we focus on that. A system that artificially generates economic equality. Okay? Artificially. It is artificial that we have economic inequality. Artificial. It's because we pick teams and we agree with structural violence to fight other people from within the structure instead of stopping the damn train. It is artificial.
Now you'll notice I said the word artificial because this poverty is not inevitable or some immutable natural law of human society. Just as shooting you with a gun is not inevitable, and just as polluting your water supply is not inevitable. The class system we endure today is a product of the market system, and it can be removed. Along with the 2 Holocausts occurring every year because of it, this may not have been the case in the past, but it is definitely true today given modern technological capacity to create a global abundance. The fact is, low socioeconomic status is the leading cause of death on the planet Earth. And what does that mean by extension? If economic inequality and inevitable poverty is technically unnecessary and merely a structural outcome of the market economy itself, then it means the market is the leading cause of death on the planet today.
Leading cause of death, oligarchy. I've said it time and time again. Leading cause of death is the oligarchy. The fact that you have a system that's based in markets that require consumerism to grow, and that consumerism requires the death of people in your nation and abroad. Period. Any ecosystems they need to live in. Period. No other statements needed right there. The market is the leading cause of unnecessary death on the planet today. Malaria had you beat. Now you got malaria beat. You murder more people with your votes, your apathy, your complete indifference to other people's experience that are completely invalid because of their skin color, their religion, their class, where they were born, or whatever ridiculous ignorance that the television has put in your head. That you need to remove Trump to fix the system. The whole model needs to go. Gone. The whole model. Otherwise, your kids are going to have to fix it. The only way they're going to fix it is... But I ain't going to talk about it.
So back to the question. In an economic system which inherently generates class stratification and overall inequity, how can the effects of structural violence, a phenomenon noted by public health researchers to kill well over 18 million a year, generating a vast range of systemic detriments such as behavioral, emotional, and physical disorders, be minimized or even removed as an effect? The answer, of course, is it can't be removed. It's a built-in system effect. And the longer we have the market, the more Holocausts will occur. And we will see 3 and 4 Holocausts a year as time moves forward, given the extreme rise in economic inequity. And this statistic shows no sign of slowing. As far as being minimized,
it's going to continue to increase. This is why we say no matter who you elect, every president steadily gets worse. You don't have a choice. Now, if we don't see it, they hide it from us, which is why during Obama, some of y'all felt good. Now that he's gone, you can see the destruction. You can see the death. You can smell the bodies. We can't see it with Trump, but we get the indicator. Right? The whole thing, once again, Obama started the colonization and the globalization war in Syria, and Trump came in right behind him and locked in the resources and made the statement in that speech, the troops are coming home, we got the oil, right? Crude no matter who. Actually, I said it the wrong way. Crude no matter who, okay? Crude no matter who. You can say blue no matter who, and now you know why. Because it doesn't matter. They can say red no matter who, and it's not gonna matter. The same thing is gonna happen. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Because this system requires it to get worse. It's not an optional aspect. It's not a side effect. It's not a broken system. It requires disparity to increase, war to increase, to steal more resources, to have more wars, to have more people in prison, more slavery, more police state. That is the model of the system. Doesn't matter who the president is. Doesn't matter who's in Congress. They all have a job to do. And that job is to keep the train running until it hits the station.
Yes, I guess some kind of wealth reallocation could emerge, but the effect would be minimal, as it still does little to address the true structural source of the problem. It would be just a patch. Not to mention the odds of that occurring at all is deeply improbable, as any such direct action would inherently be a violation of the very nature of free market theory, right? Which assumes that market action itself is self-regulating, and any type of state imposition is wrong. And by the way, if you're one of those people who says that we don't have a free market today and we have state...
This is the part right here. I'm sorry, I thought I skipped it. This is the part. Everybody join together, everybody join hands and say, Gerard is wrong. He wrong. He wrong, 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 wrong. Change my mind. You will never catch me posting about crony capitalism again. Why? Because I can be wrong. I'm okay to be wrong. It's called being an adult. It's okay to be incorrect. Incorrect. We have a free market capitalistic system. We have it. We have socialism. It's just none of it's for you. It's not crony. We got a free market system. He's going to explain to you in the next 30 seconds why I was dead wrong.
Coercion or crony capitalism. Please watch my lecture, Origins and Adaptations Part 2 from the University of Toronto in 2014, along with my Berlin lecture, Economic Calculation and an NLRBE in 2013, where I counter this nonsense specifically.
Nonsense. Nonsensing nonsense. Why was Gerard speaking nonsense? Because he wasn't sensing. He was not sensing. He didn't do his homework. Like Ty used to say on the video, you ain't do your homework, baby. I didn't do my homework. I didn't watch the lecture that he just mentioned. I missed that. I'm busy. Slavery, you got to pick some cotton, okay? I've been busy. I was nonsensing, so I was speaking nonsense. We have a free market capitalistic system. He's explaining to you why I'm wrong. Can you see that? Everybody wanted me to be wrong again, because I've been wrong I don't know how many times on this thing. It's not about being right. This is about being correct. And when you get corrected, you need to say the correct things.
We have only a pure free market in the exact sense of those terms, meaning the freedom to compete and restrict the freedom of others in that process. Now, I'm going to stop here. These three questions.
The freedom to compete and the freedom to restrict competition. That is the free market system, and that is exactly what we have. You had Johnny D. Good. We did that a few months ago. The positive spin on the Rockefeller story. I hate doing this. This is the problem with indoctrination. My sister does that. I hate doing that. She got me doing this. I don't even know what the hell does this even mean. It's like a millennial thing. Anyway, Johnny D. Rockefeller, right? Born in a scarce family. Daddy ran away, had a family with somebody else. Pissed off Johnny D. Good as a baby. Johnny D. grew up, became Johnny D. Bad. He started total Standard Oil. And the only reason Standard Oil became the biggest oil company in the world is because he competed in the free market system. He wanted some freedom in the markets to fight for the things that he wanted and to deny others. And that's what he did. And so he began this walk down cronyism, which is an aspect of free market capitalistic systems to deny others the right to compete. And so he would buy parts and pieces and train routes and things to stop other oil companies from competing. Because his mama, he loved his mama. That's why he loved his mama. We talked about this earlier. That's the only free thing on the planet is love. He loved his mama, and daddy's running around cheating. Daddy come home every few months. Name was Devil Bill. Because he loved his mama, he created Standard Oil and used cronyism, which is an aspect of free market capitalism, and denied others. To the rules. Created the biggest oil company in the world, and this is why today, in 2019, we still drive cars that are run on dinosaur farts. And cow farts cause climate change, something like that. So, but there was something else in there I wanted to mention. Right. When he wanted to give it all away. When he wanted, because he started the Rockefeller Foundation to give it all away. Like I'm saying, oh, he's just evil and a bad man. No, that's why I say Johnny D. Good. Johnny D. Good was good then, and he became Johnny D. Bad from environment and circumstance and people not wanting to raise their kids because it takes a village, made him a little monster, a little psychopathic. But later he became Johnny D. Bad, Johnny D. Good. Why? Because from the church. You know, the church that y'all attacked because y'all hate religion and well, because he met the minister. You remember the story. And the minister said, make as much money as you can and give it all away. He damn sure made as much money as he could. But the problem is, and you can give it all away, and he gave a lot of it away, but you can't undo what you did, right? The system is based in balance. After he put all of those people out of business, he put all those other companies out, it created all this scarcity and mental illnesses and suicide, all the things that he's talking about, right? Because after you create it, the deed is done. You can't reparate that, right? That's why I say you can't reparate slavery. It's literally impossible. All you can do is collude with the people who did it and okay the system. After he made those billions of dollars, he started giving away through the Rockefeller Foundation. Here. He gave it to minorities. He gave it to women, gave it to this, gave it to that. Did everything he could to try to fix what he did. To try to reparate. But you can't reparate after you destabilize the balance of an ecosystem. It doesn't matter what he wanted to give away. This is what I'm saying. You can't chase wealth. You can't chase these things. You literally can never have them. Not on a planet where you have a lot of people who completely go without from not having anything. All right, done with that. I don't know where that came from. But this is where I was wrong. We had free market. We have it now. It's just people excelled at one aspect of free market, denying others. And so now it doesn't feel like it's a free market, but it is a free market. They just beat us out. It's a monopoly game that never stopped. We just started a monopoly game late. We can be mad at the people in the game, but they're playing by the rules. the Goldman and Sachs and the Rockefellers and Rothschilds and all of them. That's what I'm saying. You can't be mad at them. They're playing by the rules. We just don't like the fact that they're winning. That's why we need a new game.
Questions are my challenge to you. Each question poses a challenge to the very basis of the market system itself. And if any of you out there can answer these questions and explain long-term resolutions without the removal of the market economy, I certainly want to hear it. Simply make a video response, post it, and send it to the link below. And please, everyone, share this video. These are questions that every news show and every socially conscious media outlet or activist personality should be addressing. Again, if you support the Zeitgeist movement, take
all right. I'm gonna end it there, but now let you give them the last.
Take the time to post this via social networks, forums, blogs, email lists, whatever. I especially would like to hear from the anti-Zeitgeist movement community as well.
Why would he do that? Especially, I wanted to plug his channel real quick. I mean, he's on he's on YouTube. I think he's on Facebook. I don't have his Facebook, but TMZ, the official channel, which he's pretty much given over to the movement. He's got the website, thezeitgeistmovement.com. You can buy his books. But what I mostly appreciate is the brother's discourse, right? He's not saying, oh, now let's have a stage debate. He's not saying any of that. He's saying, listen, I want to hear from you. I want your feedback. I've been doing this for decades. This is where we need to go. I've handled the opposition. This looks like a good way to go. We need to start progressing to the Venus Project type setups, right? You know, automation. He doesn't necessarily know how to get there. There's some great people in the Zeitgeist movement who posted videos about how to get there. You know, the Ubuntu movement is a one way to get there. We have an automated economy where everything is produced for you. You have 3D printing. You have automated mining. You have people. To me, the first step is consciousness, right? You got to take that first step in seeing beyond yourself. You got to become all sensing, because that's what consciousness is. That's what yoga is. Yoga is not making yourself a pretzel till you fart. No, that's what it is here. That's what I thought it was for the longest time. I was like, yo, I had it. Why do I want to do yoga? Sometimes I can't hold it. I drink a lot of smoothies. Sometimes I just can't hold it and walking. You can get me with a bunch of other people in some tights and fold up to a pretzel till you fart. That's not exercise. That's just embarrassing. That's why most guys, that's why you invite your husband to yoga, he never go. That's why he doesn't go. That's one. Two, yoga, its meaning is all sensing. Right? It's universal sensing, right? When you can universally sense, you become conscious. When you become conscious, you don't look at people and label them anymore. All the little labels and identities we talked about, which is why we're here. But also when you become conscious, you become more passionate on fixing real problems. This is why he said, I want to hear from everybody, but I mostly want to hear from people who object. Why would he say that? That's the man that gives a damn. One, is a man that did his research. Two, it's a man that gives a damn. When you give a damn, this is why I don't block people. The only people I only blocked like 3 people. People who obviously don't want to fix anything. They just want to cause problems. Their only intent is to cause problems. That's it. Other than that, I want to hear from people who are different than me. That's why all my videos are public. I don't hide anything. It's all right out there, right? Because I want to hear from people who disagree with me. It just so happens that if you look at the comments here, I mean, a lot of people agree because it's not me they're agreeing with. There's a hive mind perspective. When you do yoga and you're not farting in the gym, real yoga, and you're universally looking for solutions that universally work for everybody instead of just lift your group up, then people agree with it. And so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I tell people all the time, tag the people who disagree with me. Tag the people who disagree, because that's how we move forward. Anyway, I am going to have to get out of here. This was a long one. Appreciate y'all sticking in. But it is time to go. I will read the comments. I cannot read them at the moment. I am going to take this. I'm going to post this video. If you don't want to share it on your timeline, it's okay. I know I have people who don't do that for whatever reason. I don't judge. I don't really care. It's not about me, it's about getting the information out there. His name is Peter Joseph, it's the Zeitgeist Movement. Appreciate y'all sticking in. Post right there, Zeitgeist Movement. Boom. So, that's it. That's it. I'll go back and read the comments later, but I gotta get going. Oh, Change my picture. Damn, is that my picture? I gotta change my picture. I did it for Halloween. It's the only time people let me change my picture and they don't get upset. Here's my, yeah, if you're not on Facebook, here's my picture. I'll show you real quick. I gotta get out of here. No, I changed my picture because anytime I change my picture to something fun, everybody's got a problem with it. It's like, it's not attractive. That's not, It's like, I don't know why y'all do that. I'm having fun on Facebook. I'm not here to date. This is not a dating. Well, actually, they do have that now, but that's not why I'm here. It's not coming up. I thought the picture was gonna come up. Yeah, well, you can see it here. Where am I at? Right there. I don't know what it is. It was an app, and it like took my forehead and put it down here, and your mouth there, and moved my mustache up here. So it kind of looks like, an anus in a way, but it's kind of smiling at you, and it's unshaved. And so I thought it was funny. It's Halloween. Oh, here it comes. I'm gonna get the big one, then I'm gonna get out of here. I thought it was fun. It's Halloween. You're supposed to have fun on Halloween. People get upset. This is the only time they don't give me a hard time. I changed it back. I had to find a picture. But you gotta have fun. This is why I laugh. This is why I'm on the back of the train. Right? People don't like it. I like it. I think it's funny. I think it's a little sexy to me. That's just me. Right? Yeah. No, you know what? I can't show it to you. It's not working. All right. Let's do this. Not everybody. Some of y'all are still scared of Facebook. You don't want to go to Facebook. I'm like, you can go to Facebook. There you go. Well, you can see most of it. You can't see the whole thing. Anyway, this is dry. I gotta get going. Enjoy your Friday. I know it's sad to a lot of people, but it shouldn't be sad. There are a lot of good solutions. We just choose not to do them. You want real solutions, you got to turn off the TV. You have to turn off the boob tube. Stop acting like a boob. Otherwise, the long-term direction and the long-term location is right here. Bad place to be. And this is if it's good, if we're okay, if we find some Rothschilds and Rockefellers that love us, this is where we're gonna end up. I guess I want to read comments, but people already left. I gotta get going. It's slavery. I gotta get going. Listen, y'all have a great weekend. This is Gerard. Love you to death. Thank you for sticking in. That's how I know people actually give a damn about what we need to do in the world. We learn, share, admit when you're wrong, keep moving forward, build a better world, prioritize the next generation over what anything that you can get right now. It is time to stop making the donuts. It's time to stop human drudgery. It's time to stop popular slavery. It's time to end mass incarceration. It's time to end the war on drugs. Time to stop sending grown men and women with lethal weapons to chase poor children in poor neighborhoods because they have plants. It's time to show sovereignty and respect for each other. It's time to let people have their guns. It's time to stop cheering for the police to come arrest their children because we're scared of them. It's time to grow up. It's time to stop making the donuts. Time to stop making the donuts. Time to stop making the donuts. This is Gerard.
Time to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh.
I made the donuts.
We make them at least twice every day.
Time to make the donuts.
Not a few kinds like supermarket.
Made the donuts. Time to make the donuts.
But up to 52 varieties.
The donuts. Time to make the donuts. I made the donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, up to 52 varieties fresh day and night. No supermarket can...
Time to end human slavery. All right, I'm out. Y'all have a great day.